no longer. So they run the bell. So hello, America and curling fans from Canada and Newfoundland. This is your host Ryan with the latest draw from the 2023 MoPac Men's and Women's Club Playdowns. I'm joined tonight by Jasmine. What's your last name, by the way?
Hashi.
Hashi. Okay. I say it slightly different. I just want to make sure I was pronouncing it correctly. So.
You got it.
And she, please introduce yourself.
Yep, I'm Jasmine Hashi. I am playing with Team Rockwell today in the women's playdowns. I'm play lead, curling out of Hollywood Curling Club, and happy to be here.
That's awesome. Yeah. So we had some fist bumps between both Howells and Pomeroy. Howells, hailing out of the Hollywood Curling Club, has the hammer to start things off, and we are going to see for Team Pomeroy the lead throw the first rocks, and that is going to be Jordan Black. So Jordan has been curling. He started curling after the 2002 Olympics, and then I think there's a little bit of a gap in his experience, but he came back in the 2020s or so, and so kind of one of those athletes that was inspired by the Olympics and kind of resumed his passion in the game. So I will say as a disclaimer that I curl out of the Utah Olympic Oval Curling Club, so I'm very familiar with these players, and likewise Jasmine curls out of Hollywood.
So very familiar with these players on Team Howells, yes.
So it should be a good game tonight, so please buckle in, and we will have all the action for you from this sheet and others as stones are in play. In between ends, we're hoping to go around the rings and look to see how the other teams are doing. We got all 5 sheets in play, a combination of men's and women's games. And this was the first rock from the lead for Howells. Is that Ben?
Yeah, that's Ben, yeah.
And it's Yoon?
Yoon, yes.
Yoon, okay. So.
Yeah, he has about 8 years of curling experience, all out of Hollywood Curling Club. Seasoned, so I'm surprised to see him have lead, but he's also very consistent, so it makes sense that he's lead for this team.
For people who know me as a curler, they know that I feel the lead is probably the second most important position on a team after the skip.
It totally is. I'm in the same camp as you. The lead, you have to put those guards up, you have to draw around, you set the strategy, you set the pace for the rest of the game.
Yeah. So, and that second stone from Pomeroy looks like it went through the house. So now the second rock coming from Yoon. Looks like they want to, I think, draw in front of their rock they just put into the house.
Yep, ideally to guard it up, keep it protected. It is just shy of T-line, but still in the top 4. So, you want to protect it from future rocks.
I think it hogged.
Yeah.
So they're kicking it through the house. This unforced error, but it looks like both teams kind of have some jitters to start the game off. And so now it looks like Ken Pomeroy wants second Trevor Dersh to take that stone out. Excuse me. Trevor is a young player. He started curling in fall 2020. But he is super passionate about the game. I think Jasmine kind of knows what's that like because I think you kind of caught the bug as well.
I did. After that 2014 Olympics, I was hooked. So just like Trevor, in it to win it. If I'm not throwing rocks, what am I doing with my life?
And you've had some exciting opportunities as part of your involvement in the sport. If you wouldn't mind kind of highlighting some of those.
Oh, sure, yeah. Like I got my start in Seattle at Granite Curling Club. Shout out to Seattle. And once Hollywood Curling Club got its own dedicated ice, RIP dedicated ice, I moved on down, and that's when I was able to really start getting competitive. So I started curling. My first competitive skill was actually this time last year at the women's playdown.
Oh.
And that was with the Mandolin Darian. He's playing on Donna Umali's team.
Okay.
And Rebecca Cooch, she's not here this week, but we were a 3-person team. And we were in Lake Tahoe, and we really got the competitive bug. And here we both are on different teams competing this weekend.
And maybe could you compare last year's Playdowns to this year's, just because it is a totally different event.
Totally different. Yeah, so like last year's Playdowns, it was 10 ins. You know, we were still in the thick of COVID-19, so we were all wearing our KN95 masks. We were in Lake Tahoe, so the elevation was a challenge. And one of us, me, caught food poisoning.
Oh, no.
So we were a 3-person team. Our skip was not able to make it due to personal circumstances. So we were a 3-person team in Tahoe at Playdowns, at elevation, with masks, with food poisoning, and we came in third.
That's really awesome. It was a smaller pool.
All right. Do I tell you that it's out of 4? The third out of 4?
But
But yes.
that was the other thing, though, is it was a 4-person Playdown, a 14 Playdown, pardon me. And there's only 2 sheets of Tahoe.
Right, exactly.
So even though it was a 4-team tournament, all the teams were on the ice every draw.
Yeah, every draw. Which is both good and bad. You
Yeah.
get to see your opposition and how they curl versus other opposition, and you get to try to keep your breath while you're curling an elevation in a mask. You know, how about that?
Yeah.
I became a very efficient sweeper from that
Oh,
weekend.
man.
And, you know, look at me now.
So this is a really excellent shot from the second for Team Howells. I think that was Peter Johns.
Yeah, Peter Johns.
He's been curling for 2 years, and that was a nice draw around the center guard. Kind of tapped the blue that was in the 4 foot, 8 foot to the back 8. So just a really good shot all around there. So
And now they're sitting 2.
yeah. Coming now is the vice for Team Pomeroy. This is Brandon Malik. I've curled with all these guys before. But this is Brandon. I actually curled with him in my first Bonspiel at Seattle, where I think I met you for the first time.
Yeah.
Or no, I met you in Arizona for the first time.
But I think we've like seen each other in Seattle.
Perhaps
before,
that's correct. Yeah, because you were at Seattle, as you said before. So clears the guard. Trevor lets it roll out. The guard roll out.
Yeah. And now we have Ken from Team Howells, their vice. Let's see what guard is calling.
Well, they're sitting 2 with a hammer.
So maybe a guard?
It depends.
I can't tell with that ice. I know
Yeah.
sheet 2 is a little tricky.
Well, you see where he has the broom. Well, I don't know how Howells holds the broom. Because ideally, if you're doing a draw, you want to use the T line to put the
Yeah.
broom so you can see how much the stone is curling. But based on where you had the broom, it could
Maybe
be
it was a takeout.
it could be a guard. Yeah, actually, you're right.
I can't quite tell. Ken is a dedicated follower of The Rock. So if the camera is behind you, you're not going to be able to see where he's going. So this was a draw to join the other 2 so that they're not lonely. So now three's a party.
Yeah, there's a pocket there though, and it looks like Ken is going to definitely take advantage of that pocket.
Absolutely.
I think it depends on how he wants to approach. I think he's going to do the outturn counterclockwise rotation.
Going for the double.
Yeah, I mean it's there. There's a big old crotch, as one might say. There's a podcast. I don't know if you listen to Two Girls in a Game.
I do every now and then. Yeah.
So they have the what they call dirty curling talk, and so crotch shot comes up probably more often than you would hope.
More often than the buttonhole. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. So they got rid of 1, and the shooter sticks around, but it is in 3rd position. So I think a pretty positive outcome for Brandon there. This is Ken's last shot. I kind of missed the delivery there.
And he is definitely looking to guard the 2 that are shot. So let's see. Seems a little inside.
Yeah.
And the team is working very hard to hold that line.
Yeah.
Ben with Rock, Peter at second to drag it. And they're pretty successful, dare I say.
Yeah, I would say so. Because I thought it was going to like over curl totally, and I think they really held on. So now it's Ken's turn, and I think they're looking for the double there. Because also that yellow that Ken just delivered, Deathloff?
I don't know how to say that last name. I love you, Ken. But I don't know how to say your last name.
There's two Kens, so I definitely think it's important to make
Yeah.
sure to mention the last name.
All right, Ken D from Hollywood.
There we go.
Duffloff, maybe. Yeah.
First time, long time.
Yeah.
Uh, so it looks like they're going to try and do the double there. I don't see a huge harm in it. I mean,
If I was in that position, I would go for the double.
it is early, but I also I do know that Ken's pretty good at doing takeouts, especially on dedicated ice. So we will see what they have dialed up here. This is Ken Pomeroy's first shot of 2 without the hammer. He's been curling for 9 years, but he's one of the senior members of the Oval crew and stuff. So it's pretty close.
Ooh,
Oh,
pretty close.
it rests on the high yellow. That's not bad though.
Not bad. You've cleared the guard.
Yep.
Now it's up to Garnet, the skip. This is his first rock. Now he is going to probably guard the 2 that he's sitting. That's what I would do if I was in his position. Let's see how this nets out.
So have you curled with Granite before?
I have not, but I've curled like in neighboring sheets.
Oh, yeah.
So you know how that goes.
He's got a very distinctive brogue, as it were.
Yes. Yes, he does. He is Scottish, from Scotland directly.
Edinburgh.
And yeah, he's the home of curling. So
The birthplace.
Yeah, it's in his veins.
Whenever Canadians say that curling's from Canada, it's like, nah.
Where are your stones from? That's right. That's
Wales.
sweet granite from Wales.
And Scotland.
And that too, yes, that's
So this looks to be a guard. I think they looks like a pretty good line. Ooh,
it's a little heavy.
Moves some
Okay.
stuff around.
Okay.
But doesn't change the order. It's still 1, 2, Howells, Pomeroy 3, and then Howells is the 4th shooter there.
Yeah.
4th stone counter. So, goodness. It's a tricky situation because they can't hit their way out of the situation really.
Right. And they haven't done a draw from the left side, so we have no idea what the ice is doing.
Well, so that's actually a good point. If they did know the draw path, they could perhaps draw to the back 4
Exactly.
and then really force Howells to make an awesome shot
Exactly.
to get out of the end.
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
It's a real gamble. And I think they're going for it.
Yeah.
How about that? Look at me knowing curling. How
Yeah.
about that?
Well, I mean, you started, and I think you definitely have a lot of experience under your belt. So,
I think so.
so it looks like they are dialing up the draw. It's going to be interesting to see how the ice moves. As I've been saying throughout the tournament, and the ice has been changing slightly, but when you throw towards this left side of the sheet away, it tends to fall away, although at a certain point it curls naturally and then it goes back towards the center really hard.
It's such a finicky sheet.
Yeah.
Like something about that left side. You're either going to fall off the cliff or you're going to dive multiple feet to the right.
Or sometimes it doesn't come back at all.
That too. That too. The personality of the sheet is something.
And it's really just this away left side that's the quirky part.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. When I played on it last night, that was also a streamed game.
Mm-hmm.
We had a very hard time doing takeouts in that area. And once I was able to land a couple of draws to that corner to the left, it was impossible to take out.
Yeah.
Team Burton spent a lot of time trying to take those shots out. And because of this very unique fall on that area of the sheet, it's kind of just hard to combat.
Indeed. This came up, I'm going to say light.
Very.
But not a bad miss. Others talked about the pro side miss. Talked about it on the broadcast where you kind of go, okay, so this is what happens if I make the shot 100%.
Right.
But if I miss it, what's the best way to miss?
And a high guard is the best way to miss.
I would say so. It does kind of block things off. It looks like Howells.
Ooh, is he going to go for the takeout?
I
Really?
think he's going to try and hit the yellow back into the pile.
And pop the blue out to the right.
That's a tricky shot.
But of anybody who could do it, it would be him. Yeah.
One thing that we probably won't hear on this broadcast, but Howells, I think, is known for his exclamations when he makes or misses tee shots in the end.
The exclamations, yes.
Exclamations, yeah, definitely.
Nice way to say that. Yes. And let's see. I do hear him yelling
Yeah?
to the sweepers. It is cutting in
Ooh.
to the left.
I think it's...
Who is that? That's Ben Young on the left to
Oh
hold
my
the
goodness.
line. The blue did pop out. Shooter is just outside of where the blue finally landed.
I think
So-
it's definitely two for sure.
Yeah, two for sure.
And
That one, that left to the right of Malik to the right of Malik is not it. So now we need to measure these last two.
I think so. I don't know if they conceded the bottom one that they just kicked away
Yeah, I think they conceded it.
as one for
Yeah.
yellow,
Yeah, so two yellow.
two yellow. Okay.
And now we're measuring for the third.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. And also, like as I say in other games, but the camera is not precise.
Yeah.
And these rings aren't precise.
That too. That too.
So our eyes may be deceiving, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But they got the measure bar coming out, the world-renowned measure bar.
Oh gosh, I didn't do the warm up behind the house. Are you of the camp that where you need to measure, you put the device behind the house, ideally behind the hack, to make sure that it is up to temperature, so you don't put a melted area in the play zone?
That's definitely for arena ice. So in a club like this, the air temperature is often colder or at the same temperature as the ice itself. Well, I mean, the ice is 32 degrees, but
Right.
a little warmer than the ice. And so, if there's any sort of melting, it would be very slight. It looks like
No, somebody kick it in. Oh,
so they
so
kicked
it's
it out.
blue?
So it's blue. So
Take it? Yeah.
we believe it's two
Yellow.
yellow for Howells with a hammer. So he got the deuce,
Got the deuce.
which is he got the deuce. So we're going to tentatively pen that. We'll keep an eye for when they put the final score up. But it definitely looks like a two-ender for Garnet Howells to open up the scoring here at the 2023 MoPac Men's and Women's Club Playdowns. It's a fun event name to say repeatedly over the course of a weekend. So we're going to take a break from the feature sheet action and come back to see how, we'll take a break to see how the other sheets are doing. So we will be right back to the feature sheets. In the meantime, let's go around the rings.
Yes.
So people are liking this overhead view. It's kind of nice, especially when someone's here to talk about what's going on, because Seattle did something very similar with their sheets, and it's sometimes hard to watch
Right.
on a channel. I definitely appreciate them doing it because, like, oh, I'm not featured really, but like I can see tiny me sliding out, missing my shot. That was my first time at Dedicated Eyes.
Yeah, true. That happens. It has to happen just once, at least. Yes.
So it looks like most of these games are starting their second end. So we'll see if Von Spieler, it's not up to date right now, but we can tell you which games are happening, and we will keep you up to date on the scores. All these scores are on bonspieler.com, the provider of our live scoring system, also powered by San Francisco Bay Area, or they've done support for it, and they could definitely appreciate your support. On sheet one, it's a women's B pool game. Team Aubrey from Coyotes started the game with Hammer, going up against Umali from Hollywood. Sheet two is our men's B pool game featuring Pomeroy with the Blue Rocks from Oval, and Team Howells from Hollywood. He got the deuce. Sheet three, men's D pool play. Team McBride from Hollywood started off with the Hammer with the Yellow Rocks. Fleming with the red from Coyotes. Sheet four, a men's A pool game. Team Hernandez from Hollywood taking on Team Burnt from Hollywood. That is
There's some drama there.
that's a battle of the All-Stars.
Yeah, Battle of the All-Stars.
And then sheet five is women's A pool featuring Team Burnt from Coyotes, the defending champs, starting with the Hammer, going up against Team Camarena from San Francisco. So these should be some good games on the ice, and we will keep you up to date as we get updates. But we're going to turn back now to our feature sheet action. And turning to the feature sheet, it looks like they're cleaning the ice after a shot. And it looks like you're gonna guess Howells may have gone through with their
Yeah.
first shot, their second shot,
Well, yeah.
and that would be
Wow.
Ben's second shot.
Shot, yeah.
So it looks like I'm. It would appear. I think that maybe Howells went in early. Pomeroy hit him out, and then Howells wanted Ben to respond in kind, and just a minor miss. So
A quick flash.
early in the end.
Yeah. Still plenty of time to make it up. Score points.
So what do you think about the number of Hollywood teams at this event?
I am very excited by the number of Hollywood teams here. Historically, it was like women's last year. It was only Hollywood. We only had one team. Men's, I think we had 2 teams there. So the fact that we have so many in Hollywood, it is like a hybrid of LA County and Orange County. And we have, I want to say 5 teams across men's and women's. And I'm not sure if anybody who is tuning in knows about the history, about what's going on here at Hollywood Curling Club, but we lost our dedicated ice this year.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that a lot of these curlers are getting to touch rocks, be on ice, since October of last year. So, we are kind of the camp of we are going to pay to play at a Bonspiel because we love the dedicated ice so much. So I'm excited to see so many Hollywood teams here. I know our performance isn't that great because we are out of practice. We're a little rusty, as some may say, but here we are, trying our best.
Well, I know Orange County offered to help out a little bit with some ice time.
A little bit, yeah.
Albeit on arena ice. And, I'm a little concerned that, it's great to have people enthusiastic about the sport, and hopefully they'll be able to keep the momentum going. But it's really easy to say that we kind of lost a step in Southern California when the curling center closed down.
Yeah, we totally did. We totally did. But everyone who was kind of on the fence about dedicated ice and its importance, they are now of the camp of dedicated ice is necessary. It elevates us to be able to come to Bonspiels on dedicated ice and not have to scale up in abilities. Like, we already have that dedicated ice experience, so now we just get to play with the best versus testing it out. So yeah, but Southern California Curling Center's close has been at the detriment of a lot of Hollywood teams, but we definitely understand the importance of dedicated ice, and especially when it comes to competitive play, and that's why there's so many of us here.
And that's really awesome. And I really hope that this is a step in hopefully continuing to build curling in Southern California, and hopefully continuing to submit teams to competitive events.
Yeah.
And I'll say, hey, you could go to Arena Nationals again.
Yes, we could go to Arena Nationals. Like, I personally have never curled on arena ice. I'm a bit of a purist. I started at Granite in Seattle, but the sport of curling is very popular in Los Angeles, and the members of Hollywood Curling Club. I see you, Larry. Hi, Larry, our president of Hollywood Curling Club, who's currently on the stream. We are all so passionate about the sport, so we are actively working to get ice back so that we can get back to curling and throwing stones at houses.
Well, I can tell you my pipe dream because it will never happen. But maybe it can happen now that Southern California Curling Center closed. Stan Kroenke, the NFL owner of the Rams, Los Angeles Rams, paid over $2 billion for his stadium. And so I would think a curling center is $2 to $4 million, especially if you build a new building. So they could build a building on the side of the stadium, and Stan would go, "What is that?" It's don't worry about it. It's a rounding error.
Okay.
It's
Rounding error.
Yeah.
We have a small footprint. We don't need 6, 7, 8 sheets. Just a couple. To get the
5.
job done. 5.
Sure, go 6.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
let's do 5.
If you're building, you might as well,
I know. If you build it, they will come, as they say. But yeah, just our joke right now is the pay-to-play model. So if we can get ice, we will pay to play. So hopefully I can talk the right person into sponsoring us and building some ice on the side of somebody's building, and we can get back to having dedicated ice in Los Angeles.
Well, and the other thing about the NFL stadium is that you have these corporations paying tens of thousands of dollars a year for corporate suites,
Yeah.
and it's like they get 8 games a year,
Yeah.
and say, hey, we have this curling center. You guys could host corporate events there, which is a huge,
Huge.
draw for companies.
Yeah.
To try curling out and stuff. It's like that's part of your perk. You can curl at the curling center as a corporate benefit, all you want.
Yeah, like with the company that I work for, I won't name them here, but ta-dum.
Yep.
Yeah, like team building events are so popular, and curling is a wonderful team building event.
Mhm.
Like everyone starts off on the same page where it looks easy, but it's harder than it looks. Everyone's humbled, but then you finally get up to speed with great teachers, and you have a wonderful time kicking each other's butts, throwing rocks at houses.
Yeah.
It's an amazing team building event. Like corporate curling is so good. Dare I say better than those escape rooms that people tout. Dare I say.
So this was a nice shot from Ken. I'm going to say Deathloff.
Yes, that's off. Let's say that.
So Pomeroy was sitting shot in the back 8, and then Ken D was able to draw, in front of it. So it looks like Ken's going to make a play on it with Brandon Malek's second shot here. We're very close to skip stones here in the second end all of a sudden. While Brandon delivers his stone, Michaela is asking if there's going to be any women from Hollywood at the Donna Perky Bonspiel next month at Coyotes.
Yeah, I am not sure. That is a wonderful question. I can put a poll out to the women of Hollywood Curling Club to see. But I've heard wonderful things about the Donna Perky Bonspiel, and yeah, if no one's signing up, I will because I love Phoenix Ice. So
Well, I know Michaela was saying earlier in the chat that she's looking forward to going. So, and it's nice to see San Diegans from Curl San Diego,
yeah,
going out, venturing out and doing the Bonspiel. Because not all clubs travel to Bonspiels.
they don't.
And they're missing a key part of the sport.
They are, yeah. And like it was really nice for SCCC to host so many Bonspiels.
Mhm.
We had so many folks traveling into us, and we really learned the importance of traveling to other clubs. So that's why we're here. That's why we essentially have residents in Phoenix. And so many of us are actually participating in Seattle in Granite Curling Club's April Spiel, that first weekend of April. I don't know if you've ever curled in that spiel, but that's a spiel to remember, let me tell you.
Well, and Seattle's got a great curling facility because they have the upstairs,
Bar, warm room
Yeah.
area overlooking the 5 sheets of ice that they have there.
and then they also have a downstairs kind of snack bar
Yes,
and
they do.
some decent seats. I didn't see the snack bar open when I was at but
Yeah.
it's still a nice place to hang out and just kind of chillax, as it were.
Yeah, Seattle, the Granite Curling Club, they own their facility, so it's very homey, if that's a adjective that we can use today. It's very well lived in. It feels like home. So if you haven't gotten a chance to go to Granite, give Granite a try.
So we're now in skip stones. Brandon's last shot is third for Team Pomeroy, pardon me. Turned out to be a guard. I mean,
T-Mobile.
we say T-Mobile.
Yeah.
When I did the MoPac 25 and under, we were oval team, referring to the chocolate drink. So trying to have some fun there. But Brandon threw what turned out to be a guard, and Howells, with his first of the 2 skip rocks, threw a guard of his own. So there's a decent sized port for Ken to draw around there. And that's pretty close at first blush. So it's easily through
Ooh, yeah.
the port here.
Yeah, weight is a little too high
Oh
up.
my goodness,
It's
yes.
Ken Defloff is definitely going to sweep that out the back, and it's a goner.
So here we are down to the last 2 rots at the end. Each team has 1 stone each. And what do you think? What do you think the shot is here for Hollywood?
I think Garnet is going for a split house approach where he's going to throw into the forefoot towards the right
Mm-hmm.
so that, you can only go for one, especially if they're in the same area. So,
And there'd be no two.
yeah, no doubles on that one.
And I do think it'd be hard for Ken to get two out of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting situation here.
Like now, if Garnet does fall short, a double is possible. It's definitely something you see in the Briar, but it will be possible. But let's see how this nets out.
I guess I think it looks like they want to keep it high, although they're sweeping really hard.
Ooh, okay, they got to pass that guard.
Oh, this looks to be a little
it's
heavy.
Oh, no. Oh, that is more than what Garnet was hoping for.
Yes.
Swept clean out of the house. Oh.
So that definitely has to count as a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Perhaps time for a Scottish euphemism.
Yes.
It's early in the game, though.
Ooh.
But it's never too early for a Scottish euphemism.
Never. Always the right time.
So Ken still has a difficult shot here. He's got to, chip out that yellow and stick around to get two. But if he does make it, he does get back in the game.
Ooh. So now that yellow that we're aiming for, it's completely covered by that blue. So not only does the weight need to be up enough, it needs to be down enough that it will curl to hit that yellow to chip it out.
Well, the other issue is I would think they would maybe try and do a long run back. I mean, it's going to be tricky to do, but
yeah, if
oh,
I
they're
were in
doing the
there,
draw.
but it
does
looks
look
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks heavy. Yeah, if I were in their shoes, I would go for the run back for sure.
It's early yet.
That's early.
And so the other issue is that if you do the run back and it jams, and then you lose the run back, you're giving up a two
True.
pretty easily, and it's early in the game.
It's a gamble.
It totally is a
Do
gamble.
you want to get two? Or are you okay with flashing and giving up one?
Yeah. So it turns out to be a steal of one for Team Howells to make it a 3-0 game going into the third end here. So we're going to take a minute break from this feature game, and we're going to check out to see how we're doing around the rings. We need like a cool theme song,
Around the rings.
Yeah, some people don't like what Sportsnet does around the rings for their Grand Slam coverage, but maybe it just needs a cool theme song.
Yeah, that's what it needs. That's what it needs. Yeah.
There's so many houses. What do we do? We're gonna go round the rings and see what's going on. We're telling you what's happening to you. I don't know.
We'll workshop it. Don't worry. We'll workshop it.
That's what these live broadcasts are for. Just to kind of work out bits and stuff.
Exactly.
Work out one-liners and stuff. And if we get good feedback in the chat, it's like, yeah,
that was it. That was it. What?
Nailed it.
Or failed it. Let us know.
So speaking of nailing it, Team Aubrey with the hammer in the first end on sheet 1 took the deuce. Sounded awful. Scored a deuce over Team O'Malley from Hollywood. Sheet 2 is our feature game. Howells is up 3-0 over Pomeroy. Sheet 3, it's McBride opened up with a deuce, and Fleming struck back with a 4 spot of their own.
Surprising.
So it's Team Fleming with Red Rocks 4-2 over McBride. Sheet 4, men's A-pool game. Trading ones back and forth. It's currently tied between Hernandez, Red Rocks, Burnt Hollywood. Well, it's the Battle of Hollywood. What would you call it? Like a blockbuster battle.
We can say that.
Yeah, it's a blockbuster battle. Burnt has the hammer tied at 1 each in the third end. And on sheet 5, a women's A-pool game. It's Team Camarena getting 2 stealing singles in both the first and second ends over Team Burton. It's now 2-0 over Burton. Team Camarena with the Bluestones and the lead right now on sheet 5. So that's interesting. Team Burton's the defending champions, and they've had some slow starts, but when they get going, they cook.
They cook. I will say that there is a new team with Team Burt, and that's a little bit of drama that is happening here today. Hernandez, a skip for his opposition, is a member of Team Burt historically.
Oh. Interesting.
I'll leave you to deduce what that means.
All right, so here comes the second shot from Jung. Looks pretty good for a takeout. Looks to be on target. Going to hit and stick.
Hit and stick.
So
Howells, line 2.
And This is tricky because there's some people who really say this is the strategy you should be playing and really tries to stick to that strategy. But when the other team doesn't cooperate, what do you do?
You need to adapt. Yeah, which is something that we kind of saw with our games earlier, where we stick to the strategy of we have hammer, we play to the wings, and while we're playing to the wings, the opposition is putting stones in the houses. And then you look up, there's 4 stones in the house. You're like, how did that happen? So yeah, you need to be sure that you're adapting every step of the way.
Yeah. So trading some hits on different rocks in the house. Pomeroy gets rid of the second counter and is now sitting second shot. Howells is still shot on the wings, and it looks like they're going to be trading hits back and forth here, unless Pomeroy can generate some offense. Maybe put up a guard with maybe 1 rock remaining in the free guard zone rule. We shall see. And this is also a drawing to the outside of the side of the sheet that tends to fall. So this is a tricky
Very
part of the
tricky.
ice. And it looks like the hasn't fooled them.
It hasn't. They got it. They've mastered it. Good on you, Peter Johns, the second for Team Howells. He has mastered that side of the sheet. I will say it is very difficult to get a hit there, but he did it.
Peter Johns has been curling for 2 years. He was an A event runner-up at the 2022 Hollywood Blockbuster. You might know one of his teammates, Brendan Botcher.
Yeah, that's one guy. You may know him.
He's big in Canada, as they say.
That's what they hear. That's what they say. That's what they say. He's big in Canada.
So Brandon's sweeping the heck out of the stone, hoping to hold on. This looks like it could be pretty good. They needed, yep.
Oh, yep.
I think they didn't necessarily need to sweep as much as they did, but it was a good outcome there.
Yeah, they definitely need to hold the line. It's a little tricky on that side.
Oh,
It
yeah.
tends to fall, so it was good on them to hold the line so that they could get that takeout. But then that roll is a little bit more than they were probably going for.
Still not bad.
Not bad at all.
And here comes is it Ken now or is it still Peter?
It's still Peter. It's his second,
Okay.
and he's going for the draw. Dare I say? Seems a little heavy. Ben is jogging.
I think they want to try and run the yellow back onto the blue.
Ah, good tactic. Good tactic. It's got to hold that line. It's definitely starting to curl. The weight is a little down.
But it's
Okay.
good for 2.
Good for 2.
You're sitting 2 right now.
Hey, it works. Plan B.
So they could try and double those yellows out, which is kind of what Ken's looking at because if they hit the top yellow on the inside and kind of hit the shot stone on the outside
Yep.
and get them both moving
To the blue, yeah.
around
Yeah.
the 2 blues.
You can pop them out.
That is a super tricky shot.
I've seen it on the Briar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Peter saw his teammate Brendan Botcher
Sure.
make a shot like that.
Yeah.
No, this is Trevor's second, I believe. This looks to be maybe a little heavy. Oops.
A little heavy. It's not curling over the way we would hope, so it flashed, unfortunately. It happens. It happens
Yeah.
to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us.
Yeah.
All right,
Howells has just a funny broom position.
Yeah, he's not of the T line positioning for his broom placement, which is fun.
It just adds an element of consistency, which other skips can do it differently. I've found success doing it that way, but and then also when you want to do a takeout, you put the broom next to the rock you want to hit first.
Exactly.
So
And usually having your broom on the T line means this is a regular draw, guard, nothing special. But yeah, Howells, he tends to have his feet on the T line, broom in front of him, which can be a little confusing.
which
But
is not bad.
his team understands what he's going for, so that's what really matters.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So after you take a pause to refresh, how have you found the game so far in this tournament?
The games have been quite challenging. Like, our team has gone up against some very capable and strong teams, and both teams, myself and our opposition, we've had to adjust to the ice and adapt to the ice. But us not having ice to curl on has been to our detriment. So it took us a little bit longer to get our feet back under us, to read the ice, to then be solid in our shots. And it's been a challenge. We've been up against some teams that have dedicated ice readily available. And, we've done our best. Let's say that. We've done our best. And this, actually, my team, this is our first time we've curled together.
Oh, wow.
We're a brand new team. And, we've all, seen each other around at leagues, but we've never curled as a singular unit. So, dare I say, we're doing pretty good for a net new team. We're all, communicative, nice and sociable. So it's been good. It's been the best outcome that we could have expected from a net new team. All of us 5 under, by the way, who are going up against reigning champions and folks who have years of experience under the belt. So we've done our best. We've done better than expected.
And there's a lot of new faces at this event.
A lot.
Which is great.
Yeah, which I appreciate. I appreciate it. Team Burton, they've been established for 3, 4, maybe even 5 years at this
5+
point.
years.
Yeah, so they have that consistency. They know each other. They know how to communicate. Same for Team Feldman. I want to say they've been pretty solid out of wine country. And I want to say the Tahoe team is also pretty consistent as well. Yeah, and those are the 3 that we went up against last year when it was only a team of 4, like a pool of 4. So, we have some new teams here, but those 3 folks have been consistent year over year, and that is definitely to their advantage.
Looking at the feature sheet here, they've been moving rocks around. It was looking kind of rocky, no pun intended, for Team Pomeroy. I say no pun intended. I kind of meant the pun. But they're moving some rocks around, kind of a quasi double to push one of the yellows to the edge of the 12-foot. And now, Howells is sitting 1 definitely, and Pomeroy is sitting in second stone.
Yeah.
And Howells is trying to take his first shot there.
Yeah, he's definitely going for normal takeout. Up weight, hopefully hit and stick to keep it split to avoid a potential double.
I think it
from his
depends on the
opposition.
weight he's throwing. I think there's a possibility of a hit and rolling, maybe kind of covering the exposed shot rock on the right side of the ice here.
Hopefully, yeah.
It's not curling though, and actually this could end up being it's on target now. It's been hit and roll to the wings. Trying to stick around for second shot.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. So they're sitting 2. I'm going to guess that Pomeroy is third right now with that blue in the back, but it's anyone's guess.
Yeah.
It looks like they're kind of looking at a cross house double initially.
Wow. I don't think they're going to go for that.
No,
That's definitely some very advanced level curling.
Hey, Brendan Botcher might be able to make that shot.
Totally, with his eyes closed for sure. But us today, maybe not.
But it looks like he's just going to draw, probably maybe chip that yellow out and stick around to be shot,
or even just freeze down to it.
Yeah,
keep the backing.
That's true. And I think that's enough ice for a draw and a gentle tap, perhaps. So this is Ken Pomeroy's first here in the third end with hammer. Supers are on it. This is possibly going to be light. He's been light a lot tonight, so we'll see if he's adjusted as necessary to the ice conditions.
I will say that for the skips, the temperature in the ice house, and it's very cold. It, when you're not throwing rocks actively, you're not sweeping actively, it's easy to get super cold and get kind of frozen up and not be at your best on your first stones. I've seen it time and time again this weekend. So not a surprise that his shot fell short from what they wanted.
Interesting. And so they are sitting second right now, but they are open, and it looks like Howells has dialed up just a takeout, perhaps a hit and stick, and just really make it just a draw for 1 for Ken Pomeroy. One potential downside here is that if it over curls, it could jam on the yellow in the back, and then Pomeroy would have a draw for 2.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens here as the shot's away. It looks like it looks like it's going to hit on the right side of the stone. So.
To the left.
Yep.
So, and it's stuck around. So right now, Howells is line 3. 1 stone left for Utah team.
and possibly 4. It really depends on those houses. And as we said, they're not true. I think to the wings. I think they're true top to bottom.
True top to bottom, not exactly true to the wings.
Yeah. So and it's just because of these patterns that we're put in. And they're great patterns. It's great to have.
Beautiful patterns.
Yeah. So supporting Black Lives Matters, Indigenous rights, Elfster, which is a Secret Santa app.
Love it. Oh, and LGBT, the Pride House. Yeah. Yeah, I love it, but it did kind of result in some uneven measurements for some of these houses.
Indeed. So he added more weight this time, and sweepers think is enough.
And it is going to flash.
No, it's slowing down.
Oh.
It needs
Maybe,
to stop,
but
though.
Ken is he's an efficient sweeper. Really efficient. So
Oh, my goodness.
I am not too surprised by that.
So that's a 3 spot there for Garnet Howells.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone's lost more than their share of games.
Yes.
And for me, when you're down a handful early in the game, it's just kind of, sometimes you got to shake it off and make adjustments. I don't know what you do when you find yourself down.
Yeah, we try to go the Harry Potter pensive approach. We just pull that memory from our minds, put it away, and wipe the slate clean and start anew.
Yeah.
Not worrying about the mistakes from previous ends, but what we're going to do right moving forward.
Well, and in an event like this, there is a 1 minute break between ends, so there is that chance to reflect. I mean, especially if you have the hammer, you have probably about 1:30 really to kind of talk it out and say, okay, that last end didn't quite go our way. Let's shake it off. This is a clean sheet, and every end starts at a clean sheet.
Every end. Yeah.
So I mean, just America is a country of second chances.
That's
Curling is a game of second, third, fourth.
5th, 6th, 7th, all the chances. All the chances.
Until you feel like, oh, maybe I've had too many chances and I'm going to shake hands.
Yeah.
But
that happens around the 7th, 8th end, yes.
But that's also one of the nice things about the sport is you can choose to say, we feel like, there's, that the game is done.
Yeah.
And we don't want to play anymore. As opposed to sports where it's like, hey, we paid for 9 innings of baseball or paid for 60 minutes of football. You're going to play 60 minutes of football. It's like, we lost 10 players to injury. It's like, we really can't keep playing.
Sorry, got to keep playing. 60 minutes.
Also, definitely our thoughts are with the Buffalo Bills player who was seriously injured. Obviously not making light of that situation.
Right, definitely not, no.
But, obviously, like in baseball, it's a 27-2 game. And it's like, people don't score 27 innings in baseball. Why do we runs in baseball?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you gotta keep playing. It's like, and then, so they have these unwritten rules where it's like, oh, don't kind of rub it in. It's like, we're up 27-2.
And you're kind of rubbing it in if you're keeping it going. So somebody shake, please.
Yeah. And they can't do it in baseball. It's just,
Like in curling, when you've had enough, you can shake for it.
Yeah. Well, and also, each end is a clean sheet, and also each game is a fresh start. And so, in situations like this, you can say, hey, we feel like we know the outcome of this game. We can pause, refresh, and get ready for the next game.
Exactly.
And hopefully, there's going to be a game after that if you win a game for the playoffs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
if you treat every in like that, you get multiple refreshes in a game to reset, recalibrate, get back on the winning path, and hopefully score some points in this upcoming end.
Yeah. And I know some people would say, oh, like losing, didn't clobber builds character, but like, how much character do you really need to build?
I don't need that much character. I don't. Trust me, I have enough.
So looks like Howells has chosen to draw 2 into the house. The first stone from Pomeroy, unfortunately, hogged. This one looks to be better weights. That's one of the tricky things about coming from arena ice to dedicated ice. It's just how sensitive sheets are when it comes to the weight on dedicated ice.
Absolutely.
Although in this case it was an adjustment. It's not hogged. It's going to be a 2 guard, just past the middle of the guard zone area. So Pomeroy will hopefully be able to make use of that later in this end.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Howells. What does he want to do here?
Huh.
I think he's maybe looking to maybe draw around
I
the
think
corner
so.
guard that was put up.
Yeah, yeah. Utilizing the opposition's guard for coverage
Yeah.
to throw some more rocks in the house. Yeah. Let's see. This is Peter Johns, his first rock. Very consistent, but also very new to the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Although, when you curl with Brendan Botcher,
true, you kind of, you elevate a little faster than the rest of us.
Did you meet Darren Moulding? Did he come out to one of the Bonspiels?
He did, but I actually met him at Worlds.
Okay.
He was actually the reason why I got curling.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So this is going back to when you were in Seattle?
Before Seattle, when I first saw curling at the exhibition in Nagano in 1998. He was there. He was on that curling team. And I was like, what is this sport with these rocks and these brooms? I have rocks. I have brooms. I can do this. Fast forward a couple decades. Look at me now, doing color commentary with you, Ryan.
Indeed.
How about that?
It's awesome. and like you and I, our encounters, I'm sure like your encounter with Darren Moulding, I'm sure Peter talked to us about Brendan Botcher, that, curlers are some of the nicest people you're going to ever meet.
The nicest, most down-to-earth people ever. So humble, regular people. So I attended Worlds last April
In Vegas,
and I got a chance to meet folks who I've only really seen on TV and not really thought that they were like real people, like Nicholas Dean, Corey Dropkin,
Yeah.
and these are just like regular folks. We're just at the bar, we're buying drinks, we're chatting it up, like we're having a great time. And it's like, you can never do that with an NBA player or a football player. Like, no, curlers are real people.
Yeah.
The sport and their abilities have not gone in their head. Like, we are salt of the earth folks, and that's why I love the sport.
Yeah. I mean, you do have some people's cantankerousness and stuff. I mean, that does come out.
That happens every now and then, yes.
But
yes,
most
yes.
of the time, especially the top level curlers, are especially gracious and generous with their time.
Yeah.
Where you can say, hey, we'd like to chat with you for an hour, and they'll find an hour to
Oh my
talk
gosh.
to you and
Please,
stuff.
please. Yeah, they're happy to.
Yeah, I mean, especially like if it's a club setting, not like just like, hey, I want a private meeting with Nick Dean.
Right.
That's
no,
probably not going to happen.
maybe not. But
But Nick Dean, he gave an interview to the Two Girls in the Game podcast.
I know, I
and,
loved it.
just because he was filming some videos at their home club and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating how generous curlers are with their time.
They are.
They respond to emails. I don't always respond to emails. So it's just fascinating, and then I think this helps kind of keep building the community and stuff. And one thing that's also important is to keep building the community beyond the circle that we have. I mean, we have a 12-foot circle, but the circle curling doesn't have to be 12 feet wide.
Exactly. Look at that. I love that saying. Let's put that on a T-shirt. Raise some money for USA Curling. Let's do this.
And there's and I think once people get to the club, I think most clubs and most curlers are very welcoming with getting people to the club from all walks of life.
All walks of life. When I first started curling in 2014, I did a learn and curl. I immediately joined a league for a team that had an opening, and they were the most welcoming people I've ever met. And they're like every curler that I've come across, competitive or just recreational level players, everyone is so willing to give time, give energy, give coaching tidbits. Like, we are such a giving group of athletes. You never see that in any other sports. Like, kudos to curling.
Well, and it's also a sport where people can be are encouraged to be athletes at all levels, at all ages.
Yep. Yeah, all abilities.
Yeah, I'm not going to go like Tom Brady's a year older than me, but I'm not going to go suit up
No,
and go
don't
up
do
against
that.
like 300-pound linebackers tomorrow and stuff.
Please don't do that. Yes. Now, for your own health and safety, please don't do that.
But curling, you can do it. I mean, like if you can't necessarily do the normal delivery, we offer stick and the assisted device delivery.
Yeah.
Wheelchair curling. There's some great wheelchair curlers out there, including Patrick McDonald out of Coyotes.
Yeah.
Pam, I think Wilson from Denver. She's a great person. And it's just, it's great to see people from all walks of life, all ages,
Yeah.
engaging in a sport that this is a sport that's really easy to love.
Exactly. I don't know if you got a chance to see the video, but I did an episode of Are You Faster Than Blake Leeper? And Blake Leeper is a double amputee track star who went around like learning different sports, and he came out and learned curling, and it got to the point where he was just like, I am better sans the prosthetics, and he curled without his legs, and he curled against Cindy Wood
Okay.
and Stacy
Yeah.
from Hollywood,
Yeah.
and him and I together, we beat them. Like, this was literally an hour of training. Like, this is a sport for anyone
Yeah.
and everyone. If you can get a rock from here to there, you can curl.
Yeah.
No matter your age. Like, one of my like shining moments from Granite was actually curling with Betty. She's like a matriarch of Granite Hollywood. Of Granite Curling Club. Yeah, Granite Hollywood.
Granite's expanding. That's
Yes,
news to us.
I am. Like, we're blending the two clubs. Yes. No, Granite Curling Club, and she's been curling for forever. But she was one of the folks where, like, if you were against her on the ice, prepare to lose, because she was a beast. Rest in peace, Miss Betty. But like, she was in her 90s and still actively curling, and was the best out of a hack. Never underestimate those. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Curling is for everyone, no matter your age, no matter your abilities. You can push the rock, you can curl.
And it's great to see, I think, kind of the embodiment of that ideal at this tournament, because you have some teams that are clearly the top of the class, and you have a lot of new teams that are just saying, hey, we want to see how well we do against these other teams in the field.
Yeah, it's good to like kind of like level set as you compare yourself from one club to another. Because like, Garnet, like Team Howells is one of the best teams out of Hollywood, behind like Mendoza and a couple of other teams. But like, we're upper echelon, cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Then you see us compared to Team Pomeroy and Sigs, the reigning champion for the men's. It's like, it's nice to like level set where you are. Like, you're great locally, you're good nationwide, but everyone in this community is willing to elevate.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've definitely seen Siggins give other teams pointers on what they could do better and how they can improve. And that's literally how we grow the sport and how we improve as curlers. We get that advice, solicited or unsolicited, to help us be better. And look at us now.
So we are now at Skip Stones. This has been a great conversation well, as we watch the stones go down. So this is Ken Pomeroy's first of two Skip Stones here. Watch him do the delivery. Howells is sitting one behind cover, so I don't really think that Ken has a chance to make a play on that shot. And it looks like this is weights looks a little light, actually.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately.
they're sweeping it really hard. They're trying to drag it into the house, and my goodness.
Ooh, Trevor's a little to the left with his sweeping.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little off the rock path.
Well, I know sometimes we try to do directional sweeping, and I know the advice that I give, like everyone when I teach a learn to curl says, can I like change the direction of the stone? And my joke always is, are you John Schuster?
Right.
Because, and only one person said they were, and that was John Schuster.
Yes, I am John Schuster. Yes, but only one person.
And by that, when I teach learn to curl, I say that, are you an Olympian? Are you a world-class athlete?
Yeah.
If not, the most you can hope for when you start curling is to help carry the stone straighter and further.
Exactly. Changing the direction of a stone in motion. Good luck.
Yeah, and that's also why these teams are playing with the burnt orange pads or the golden poppy pads. They are not really known for their effectiveness, and that's done deliberately to kind of not level the playing field, just to level the equipment playing field would be more accurate, so that it's not the equipment that's the star, it's the players, the sweepers, and their ability to drag the stone so far and stuff. So Howells, this is his last. This looks like it's slowing down, but not in time. So the door is open for Pomeroy. If he throws the same shot, same weight, well, maybe it's a smidge more weight.
Smidge more.
Smidge more.
You can get two. You can get in there to the top four, and get two.
just kind of start the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Or the bowl. I went lawn bowling for the first time
did?
over the Christmas break.
Oh, nice.
It's a
Very
lot
nice.
fun, a lot of fun, and also like what people say about curling, it's harder than you think.
It's harder than you think, yeah. All right, that's going to be like one of my summer sports, lawn bowling
Yeah.
or bocce ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that there's, I mean, it's California, so it's a fair situation. There is a lot of lawn bowling in the Bay Area. There's like 2 clubs in LA. There's 2 clubs in San Diego.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who knew?
And the San Diego clubs offer free lessons to residents and stuff.
How about that?
Yeah. So
Let me go talk to our local lawn bowling club. Maybe we can do like a exchange of trainings.
yes, and
Learnings.
back when SoCal was around, I was joking that they should turn it into like a center for rocks and bowls and
Ooh,
stuff.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Totes.
this-
Oh, come on! If you can drag
Get it there,
drag
guys.
it a couple more feet.
Oh, it looks like it's just 2 inches short there.
2 inches, like so close. But you know what they say? Horseshoes and hand grenades.
There's that, and also you want to be on the right side of the inch in this case.
Right,
They
you're
were
on the
not.
wrong side. But hey, Pomeroy is now on the board
Yep.
with 1 point. Howells has hammer.
Yeah. And we are going to go into the 4th end break here. Howells has a commanding lead of 6-1. We're fairly certain if they change the score, we'll change the score.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
We're going to go around the reins, do an update, and then we'll take about a couple-minute break. But thank you so much for Jasmine being here so far. You're going to be here after the break, right?
I'll come back. Of
Okay,
course.
thank you so much.
Of course.
Seeing some great comments in the chat. Definitely appreciate the feedback. And it's just like talking about the community of curlers. It's been fun to have that community extend online. For the most
Exactly.
part. I mean, some of the cantankerous shows up from time to time.
Every now and then on a couple of games, in particular mine, whatever.
Yeah, and then some people have their favorites, and some people have their not so favorites and stuff. It's like, why do we see this curler all the time? It's like,
Well, sorry that they're the reigning champions.
I know they've won 2 or 3 world championships. So people might want to see them.
Sorry.
Nowadays.
Sorry.
Let's go around the reins really quickly at the 4th end break here. This is the 4th of 8 scheduled ends. Although, as we've been discussing, teams can choose to resign early if they feel like it's out of hand or it's like we don't want to play anymore,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is fair.
Absolutely.
So on sheet 1, I'll look at all those reds in front of the house. That is the scoring has been all Team Aubrey from Coyotes over Umali. The Redstones are Aubrey. It's 6-0 after 3, and it looks like Aubrey's starting to score again without the hammer. Sheet 2 is our future game, 6-1 Howells over Pomeroy. Sheet 3, this is turning into a bit of a barn burner. Team Fleming from Coyotes, one of the top teams in the field, one would argue, taking on Team McBride from Hollywood.
One of the top teams at Hollywood.
Oh, good point. They are all square after 5. They're all square at 5 after 4.
Yes, a little confusing. Yes, at 5 after 4.
Yep, there we go.
Yes.
And then we got the blockbuster battle between 2 Hollywood teams, Hernandez and Burns. Burns currently has the better of the pair. They're up 3-2 at the break. And then on sheet 5, a women's A-pool game, Camo Reyna is continuing to pour it on over the defending champions, Burton from Coyotes.
That is surprising.
It's 7-0.
That is very
Camo Reyna
surprising.
at the break, yes.
I mean, like, the Camarera team is a force to be reckoned with, but our reigning champions 4 years straight now?
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, like, that is surprising that they have not yet got on the board. This is their second game today. They did play earlier,
Yeah.
so I imagine there's fatigue at play, etc., etc. I'm surprised,
Yeah.
but hey, curling, you never know how it can net out. You never know.
Indeed. So we're gonna leave it here on this view for a couple minutes. We're gonna take a break. Gonna get some refreshments, some water. Some comments definitely talking about broom stacking. Also noting that Orange County doesn't have a team in the field with the name, but there's several members that are members of both Orange County and Hollywood.
Yeah,
that are at
definitely a
the
blended
event.
team right
So,
now. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, they
Blended
definitely
teams.
have OC on their patches, on their jackets
They
and
do.
stuff.
They
so.
do. They do. Definitely do.
So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes. You are tuned to the 2023 MoPac Men's and Women's Club Playdowns coming to you from San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. This is Ryan right now, being joined by our special guest, Jasmine Hashi.
Yeah.
Oh, we did it right.
We'll get it right. Yeah.
All right, but it's important. We'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the second half of tonight's feature sheet game between Team Pomeroy and Team Howells. Also taking a phone call in the background here.
Don't mind that.
It's a warm room. It's kind of like what I enjoy about broadcasting games at the club is that you kind of create like a warm room feeling where you're talking about the shots, you're talking about the game that we all love, and hopefully everyone comes away the better for it.
Right. And you just happen to get some nice background ambiance.
Yeah.
Conference calls.
Yeah. The test came back. It's negative. It's all good.
She said yes.
It's really good news. Or yes, the test was positive.
Oh no! She said yes to the proposal.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, so it looks like Pomeroy has opened up with 2 guards, and Howells also put up a guard. So this is shaping up to be a kind of a messy front of the house.
I will say that after the 4th in break, it's a little harder to kind of like get back to where you were before. Like for me, like I hogged it. Every stone after that 4th in break, I hogged it. It got a little tense, cooled down a bit, weren't as loose, and it didn't go as well. And I see that I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
It happens.
That's a good point. And also, like, I like to have the hammer after the end break so you can see, it's like, oh, they're short, so I need to make the adjustment.
Like, make sure I give it a little bit extra. Yeah.
And the nice thing about this sport is that you can, everything is open, maybe too open sometimes. I've had people kind of come close to me while I'm talking to my vice or vice versa. No pun intended. It's like I would turn to them sometimes like, well, what do you think? What shot should I take? Because they're like 2 feet behind me and stuff. It's like, come on, guys.
Too close.
And I say that jokingly, but I definitely meant it as a joke. It's like, why are you like over my shoulder?
Right.
When I try to talk about my shot.
Like, there's plenty of room. Come on. Oh, very nice draw around, and Team Pomeroy is really holding that.
Yeah, looks like
Wow.
a good adjustment there. That was Trevor's first, Trevor Dersh, the second. You know,
Right on center line, just shy of the button, but sitting in that 4-foot zone.
so reading his bio because it looks like he spent a lot of time on it.
Yes, you did. Lots of lines.
Trevor started curling in fall 2020. Has been enthusiastic about curling since he joined the league, the Oval. I was his teammate just after he started out, so it's been fun watching him progress. He now teaches learn to curl classes to help share that passion and help the sport grow. He also has a YouTube series. So
I did not know that.
yeah, so
Okay.
check him out on YouTube. And he also helped with his wife to create an app to score on his Apple Watch and stuff.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Although that has led to some problems where like the skips say why are you scoring your shot, just like focus on the game.
Oh, yeah.
It comes up, and it doesn't come up very often. Obviously, kind of had to have the right focus and stuff. And,
Right.
for me, it does come up because I webcast our games from the Oval on the Oval Curling Club's YouTube page, and so there's situations where it's like my attention's not 100% on the game because I'm trying to put up the light stands and get the cameras all set. Although there does come a point where it's like, you know what, this camera setup's good enough for the game, and we're just going to go with it. I'm going to focus on the game.
That's right. Sometimes you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and this is good enough.
Well, the other situation is also like I try to put the cameras on different sheets other than my own because I'm not selfish, or I try not to be selfish. She's like, hey, it's another streaming game featuring me.
Right? That's why you're here, right? To see our beautiful faces.
And I say that humbly as I'm now talking about curling for 8 hours a day for the next 4 days.
It's appreciated.
Yes, but also I'm not shy about certain things as I'm talking about this game for 8 hours. But I definitely want to spread the wealth because I feel like this web streaming helping to showcase what the Oval Club can do here at these MoPac events, showing what MoPac clubs can do, the MoPac players can do.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm here, and that's why I think MoPac as an organization is helping this initiative.
Yeah.
And if you like showcasing the best that we can do, we are looking for sponsors. That's what we call a transition in the biz.
There we go. It's very smooth.
If you or your business would like to become a sponsor for MoPac, our competitions, or our live streaming service, visit mopacca.org and click on the contact link on the right-hand side of the page. So, for example, when we switched to the shooter delivering the stones view, there's like a space for an ad. We were thinking about putting like an ad position, on the ice, kind of like what they do at championships and stuff. There's some other opportunities. Not to do a hard sell here, but
I mean, hey, we do need the money. Curling is not cheap.
Indeed. So, calling out for Peter.
Oh, yes.
He's really going hard at this rock.
A very efficient sweeper. He is a very efficient sweeper. Good
And
on him.
Not a bad outcome. It does run the blue back onto the yellow.
Yeah. I know he was probably hoping to to curl just a bit to be right of face to pop out the blue to the left and not crash on that other yellow that was in the back of the house.
Indeed.
But hey, plan B, you are shot.
That's a really good point. And it looks like, I think Palmer, just based on when he has a broom, I think he could be doing just a heavy draw to tap that yellow back.
Yeah.
And just trying to create a pocket to keep sinking their stones into the house here.
Yeah.
So they're on it now. They needed to finish. Looks like it's finishing pretty nicely. Although the weight is maybe just a little bit lighter than perhaps. No, the weight's not too bad.
Not too bad.
It's really
That's
close.
Wow. I'd almost say it's yellow, that shot, but it's so close.
Yeah, and sometimes the eyes can deceive you. It's a toss up. Honestly, I think it looks a little blue, but I can see what you're saying with the yellow there.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how this end goes. Garnet Howells or Ken Pomeroy could just render this point moot.
Right, exactly.
Sometimes when I talk about there's a stone that's on the line, but isn't in the house. They did a double takeout, so it doesn't matter anymore.
2 stones later and it's gone. What stone?
Okay, but he asked for the takeout again and was able to accomplish it. Um,
Yeah,
so now for Pomeroy, this is an interesting situation. Howells has the hammer,
mhm.
which is something fun to say 5 times fast.
Yes, it is.
Howells
House
has
has
the
the
hammer.
hammer.
Yes. Also, Howells of Hollywood.
House of Hollywood has a hammer.
Yes. Also, because he also like you maybe say it's like, oh, this is kind of like an upscale Fredericks of Hollywood.
It is. Oh, hey now. Okay.
I mean that jokingly, of course,
Of course.
obviously. But you know, Howells of Hollywood, it sounds like an
It
upscale
does.
boutique of some sort.
It
You know?
does. A little fancier than Frederick's. Yes. But yes, House of Hollywood has the hammer, and I hope that's actually Pomeroy that is up next and in the hack.
Yes, this is the first of the 2 skip stones coming from Team Pomeroy.
What do you think he's gonna do here?
I think they're just going to try and draw to it, maybe freeze it on top,
Maybe.
because you know it's the 5th end here,
Yep.
even though it says the 4th.
Toast the 5th.
I meant to
Toast
say
the
5th. It's the 5th end, and I think if they freeze it on top, that means it's going to be hard to get rid of. Although this looks light, actually.
Yeah.
So I think just getting in the house, make it something for Howells to go after.
Ooh. It's undercover, not in the most obvious path to take, so they might just ignore it and try to draw around.
So where Howells has the broom at the top of the 8 foot, that's kind of where I was thinking of putting it. So to keep it, make sure it outcounts that blue that's in the lower left side of the view that we have here, and that way if Pomeroy does a takeout, it's going to be very hard for Howells. It's going to be very hard for Pomeroy. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Howells, so if Howells puts in the top 8 foot, Pomeroy could try and take it out, but it really doesn't get that much and leaves Howells an opportunity for a 2.
Yeah.
It looks like they are doing the draw. I think the matter was figuring out the amount of ice to take here.
Yeah.
This is Howells' first here. Sorry.
Bless you.
I came into the Bay Area and got allergies right away.
Yeah, it's been very rainy, and the weather, it aligns with pollination.
Yes.
So, very sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh gosh, this rock from Howells is just a little too light.
So, provided that Pomeroy can get through the ports, which is also fun to say 5 times fast.
Pomeroy to the port.
Yes. Pomeroy passes through the port.
Yeah.
Then they could be sitting shot, and it'd be really hard for Howells to take them out.
Yeah. But yeah, Howell's first rock has kind of closed in on that port, so it's a lot more narrower. I'm sure that Pomeroy could make that, but Howells just made it a little bit more difficult to do.
Yeah, that port. When you look at it from this angle, that's a very narrow port.
So narrow.
Especially if you're doing T-line weight there. Because assuming the rock's going to curl about 3.5 feet, that's kind of the curl I've been seeing this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they would maybe try and go to the back of the house if they try to draw through the port. Because if they draw through the port with about 3.5 feet of curl, they can get. It needs to be fast enough to get past the blue guards on the bottom right of the screen.
And then get around the yellow that's in that biting the top 12.
And then curl and finish probably back 4 foot.
That's a lot of curl. That's a deep, deep cut.
That's true.
But possible.
Yeah, I mean,
as the rock slows down, it does tend to cut deeper.
Although that's not where Brandon has the broom.
No, he's doing something completely different.
He's got the broom on the outer 8 foot there. And let's see here.
Maybe he's going for a raise?
I think that might be what they're going for. So there's a port on the right side here as 10 makes his shot. So if he gets through those 2 yellow guards and raises the blue, but he needs to have his weight dialed in.
And we haven't really been on this side much, so who knows what weight is needed for an adequate raise that is actually going to curl around that yellow guard that's in the front of the
Indeed.
house.
So they're sweeping hard.
Oh, we got around it, but now it needs to
Oh.
curl a lot.
Oh, this looks like it's pretty solid.
Ooh, yeah, very nice.
So that looks like well executed shots.
Well executed, yeah.
I would give it 4 out of 4. You could say perhaps 3 out of 4 because I think he wanted to be undercover.
He did.
It's exposed.
He's
and
exposed.
Howells has put the broom for a takeout, and if he noses it, it's 2.
Yeah. And this rock is very well exposed. It's right in the center of that port that we were just talking about. And Howells is very accurate with his takeouts. He has that takeout down. And we've been on this path a lot this end. So probability is kind of high that he's going to make this.
Yeah,
But you never know.
that's true. And there's also a possibility that the blue could jam on the yellow in the back.
Exactly.
But the shot's away. This is Howells with the hammer.
Peter is at it, brushing furiously to hold that line,
Through the
but
port.
it's holding. Pop
Ooh,
through, wow,
yeah.
right on the button. Wow.
Justin, that's 2.
That is 2 Garnet Howells.
So
2 Howells.
great use of the hammer there.
Yeah.
And
So now we are Pomeroy 1, Howells 8.
yes, and I think they're
Into the 5th.
just keeping an eye on the players here. Because sometimes they might say this is we have an early morning.
Yeah. Like, that's just shake.
Hot tub closes at 11. So
My swimsuit is ready and waiting for me. Oh, I think we are. What were they signaling?
I think they're going to maybe try one more end.
I think so. I mean, might as well play the rocks back.
That's true. That's a good point. Although it's the 6th. Yeah, it's the 6th, and so they're coming home.
Yeah, they're
So.
coming home. Yeah.
All right, so while they get set for this next end, we're going to take a lovely trip around the rings, a tour of houses, as it were. Get your tickets now.
It's like MTV Cribs. We're going on a tour of houses.
Right, I was thinking also for the Realtors Association. It's like, come check out our neighborhood of $900,000 homes that you can't afford.
Yeah.
The California Tour Homes is coming near to a city near you.
That's right.
I saw it advertised. It's like, oh, $900,000. That's
not bad.
Totally unreasonable for East Bay.
Compared to the $3.5+ million homes out here, yeah, that's attainable.
All right, let's go around the rings real quick. And looking at sheet A, there's a lot of red, and I would say it's blood, perhaps, but that might be a little too graphic.
A little too graphic, maybe.
But there's a lot of red on the
A lot of red, and a lot of red on the scoreboard as well.
That's Team Albury with the Redstones from Coyotes. They're up 10-0 over Umali from Hollywood. Team sheet 2, Team Howells again scored that deuce to take an 8-1 lead over Pomeroy. Sheet 3, all square at 5 at the break. I don't know if they've updated the score yet. Still looks at 5-5. I think they just finished the end, so hopefully we'll see an update soon. 5-5 after 4. Got it right that time.
5-5 after 4, yeah.
Fleming from Coyotes tied with McBride from Hollywood. Sheet 4, Team Burnt maintaining a 5-2 lead over Team Hernandez of Hollywood. The blockbuster battle continues.
Yeah.
On sheet 5, I haven't seen the end of the 5th end, but it's still Team Camarena out of San Francisco up 7-0 over the defending champs, Burton, out of Coyotes. So interesting to see there. I'm going to sneeze.
Yeah. Very interesting to see. But here we are. We're getting into the latter ends. Everyone has had their 4th end break. So everyone's going to bounce back, warm back up, and finish strong. So let's see how that nets out.
Indeed. So we're going to shift back to our feature match between Team Pomeroy from the Utah Olympic Oval facing a battle against the battle-hardened Howells of Hollywood.
I love it.
I get paid by the word, if you couldn't tell. I'm a journalist, so I do get paid for writing, although more for graphic design at this point. But it's fun to say I get paid by the word.
This is the second stone from the lead for Team Howells, Ben Young, and it has gone to the back 12.
Yeah. Giving some backing for Ken to draw to if he so chooses, and I think they're going to take Howells up on that. draw opportunity.
Absolutely, I would.
Or-
If I were in the or the promotion.
Yes, or draw opportunity, as I'm not calling it. It sounds like you're dropping the rock as opposed to drawing. But
Yeah.
it doesn't quite work. But like we said, this is a webcast for workshopping ideas. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna keep working on our fun, witty wordplay.
Yeah. Ooh, this is right to the button. Maybe even a little more, just a tad bit more. Garnet is sleeping feverishly, but it's still landing in the back four.
And it's covered though.
But it's shot, and it's covered.
Although if you look at it from the head on, as we're doing here,
I'd say 50% covered.
yeah. Well, also the way he could get at it, it looks like it could jam on that yellow in the back. So,
It could.
So they chose Pomeroy chose a really good place to put that rock.
Yeah. Now we have Peter Johns, who is up with his first rock, and he's very young, very new to the sport, but his accuracy is really spot on.
Mhm.
So he is going for, dare I say, like a halfway takeout. So fast enough to push it out, but slow enough that it can curl around that high guard.
It's gonna be close, although it
Okay,
Ooh.
now you have to hold it. Bend, 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 bend. Sweep, sweep, sweep. Oh, it over curled, just a little pop, but now 100% exposed.
yeah.
But
But-
I'm sure Team Pomeroy is going to guard that up and prevent that takeout from
Yeah.
happening. And look at that. I think he is. He's going to guard it up, but still be in the rings to count. Look at that. That
Yeah.
rock's going to do double duty. It's going to get a point, and it's going to guard from that first.
That's the way to do it.
That is. It is.
So just kind of revisiting the bios because we've been chatting, but it's always nice to showcase the players as well. This is Trevor throwing his first, but the lead for Utah Oval curling team is Jordan Black. He started after 2002, and it actually went to he played in 2003 Utah against Moscow at youth games apparently. And was at the junior men's Utah Playdowns in 2005. And then in 2022, after he returned to the sport, he was the Rocky Mountain Bonspiel champion up in Ogden and medaled at the High Bonspiel, which is the Oval's new Bonspiel. So coming to a curling club near you, if you are interested in checking out the generosity and hospitality that Utah has to offer, this is my pitch. Come to the High Bonspiel the first weekend of April. It's actually the weekend between March and April.
Nice.
So we definitely hope to see you guys there. We are arena ice, but we do our best to make it the best arena ice we can. And the facility is really great. We are the training site for U.S. speed skating, so water quality and ice quality is not an issue.
Oh, wow.
So, and we have we have black lights in the ceiling, so we can do some blow spiel and stuff. So
Yes.
definitely invite you guys to come check it out. It's a fun facility. They usually take out the oval at that time of year, so you can't go speed skating on the 400-meter oval. But
Okay.
but you know we have Olympic-sized.
I didn't
I
want to
should-
check my speed skates anyway on the flight over.
Well, good news, you can rent speed skates at the oval.
Oh. Okay. I'll do that then. I'll do that.
And again, that's the High Bonspiel coming to you the end of March, start of April that weekend. So definitely looking for more teams, especially from out of state now that we're pretending that COVID doesn't exist anymore.
What? Who?
I know.
A what? I've never heard of it.
No.
What?
Corona. That's a
That's a
beer.
beer.
Yeah.
19, that just means you've drank 19 Coronas.
Oh man. So interesting situation here.
Oh,
Got
that
some-
was a gripper.
Got some gripper action,
Okay, wow.
or gription, as some people might say.
It's a gription.
So it looks like Pomeroy is sitting 1, but then Howells is sitting 2-3. So and
Yeah.
this is the next stone coming from the
From
third.
from Ken Duckloff. He's been curling since 2001. He hails from Wisconsin, but he's never curled. How about that? Husky lover, avid curler. Look at him now.
Well, look at his shot. It is gonna looks like it's pretty close to on target. Actually, kind of.
Ooh, just undercurled. It needed some more curl to hit straight back to that
Yeah.
blue that's in the forefoot.
Although it looks like it might be shot.
Oh,
So
yeah,
this
yeah.
yeah
I
this
think it's shot.
I think-
Oh, for sure.
yeah. So I think Pomeroy, could run the blue back onto the yellow, and that yellow's probably going to go to the side, to down to the right, unless I mean, obviously the worst case scenario is it jams,
Right.
but you're also kind of moving the yellows back to the back of the house.
Exactly.
So, let's see what he has dialed up here. This is Brendan Mallett. His first, that's where we got the dripper throw from. He's been curling for 4 years. He was the C event winner at the first MoPac 25 and under in October at Coyotes. You and I were both there.
Yeah, we were.
A fun weekend was had by all. And this shot, this looks like it's pretty good. I think it's a slight miss.
Just a slight miss. Yeah, Howell's team is still shot.
Yep.
In that top 4. And now we're going into Ken's second shot in Team Howells.
So, and I think it's just really easy to do a hit, and if you roll under all that cover, that's the I don't think it's a miss. That's kind of the ultimate outcome that you want.
Yeah. That's the plan A.
Start. It looks like a wide just based on how Howell shifted the broom.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. I mean, even if it side hits the Pomeroy blue, not a bad outcome.
Peter is scrubbing furiously to hold that line.
It's actually curling more than they were expecting.
Yeah. Which might be okay. It's going to come in. Wow. How about that?
Wow.
Now Howell's is 2.
Yep. And behind a lot of cover.
Mm-hmm. Ample cover.
And so now it looks like Ken wants to maybe slash the yellow out, run the blue on the yellow. It's a tough shot though.
Very tough.
Has to be like right on. We're kind of looking at it here. I think it's there.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a tough shot. Here it is. Got the weight going.
Yeah, dare I say it's like 66 to 75% exposed. Hittable, but not 100%. Oh, we got a piece.
Ooh.
Very
not
nice.
too bad.
Very nice.
Shooter rolls out to the wings. Not going to probably be in play regarding the scoring.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the blue that was run back actually rolled out. So it opens up the center.
It does. And now Howells has just shot 1. Second shot is that blue that is just to the left in the back 8.
Yep.
And it's 100% exposed. So Howells could easily take that out, roll under cover, and be shot 2.
And so this is Howells' first with the hammer, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And tell us about him.
But yeah, Howells, he's been, he's from Edinburgh, Scotland. He's, very vocal, if you can hear him over mic. He's been curling for a bit, junior curling for about 3 years, took a big break, 20 years actually, and then he came back about 7 or so years ago to start curling, and he curled out of Southern California Curling Center, and since its closure, he has been curling on a nomadic basis, curling out of San Francisco, Lake Tahoe, Perth, Stirling, and Edinburgh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we get around.
He does get around, and like he was able to visit his family in Scotland. I saw photos of him visiting one of the ice arenas that also doubles as a curling club.
Exactly.
And it's kind of fascinating how they do curling clubs in Scotland.
Yeah. I've never been. It was nice to see the pictures from him, but I'm interested in learning more.
Yeah. So it's almost like each league is a club, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So you can have an ice arena. You can have like 5 leagues at the same arena.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a fascinating situation. Also a fascinating situation. Transition. Look to see what they're setting up. I think they're setting up a very long run back. And that really does seem to be the best shot they have at this point. It's.
I agree.
The odds of making it are long.
But what's longer? Any other shot.
Yeah.
This is the best one.
This is Pomeroy's last, I believe, and so he's got to be sitting shot, or definitely avoid giving up multiple points in this end. So if he's able to run the blue back onto the yellow, he'll be sitting shot and really force Howells to make a draw for 1. I think at that point.
Oh, this is actually his first, so he has a second chance.
Oh, that's the very.
this.
You're so totally correct.
I just saw it.
You can count to 2.
I can count to 2. 1, 2. Look at that rock in the background there. So let's see, he'll get a second chance at it
Yeah.
if it comes down to it.
Also kind of the joke I make about like people who make sure that the stones are in order in between ends. It's like if you can count to 8, you don't need to spend the time putting the stones back in order.
Hey, after multiple ends, I can't count to 8.
Yeah,
Just being honest.
especially when the broom stacking starts early, perhaps.
Exactly. Oh, what is this?
So he wrecked on the guard. The shooter either rolled out or rolled to the wings, and so now Howells, I think, can put up a guard or put a rock in the top 8 foot there, and really just kind of turn up the heat against Pomeroy here.
Now that run back was hard, but it was the right call.
Yeah.
It's what I would have done if I was in his position.
You need it's robbing season.
Yeah, it is.
And he's got he needed to steal or at least force Howells to 1, and it's going to be tricky here. Post in the comments the live chat going on YouTube. Gecko771 mentions the Kinross International Friendly being a ton of fun. This rock here turns out to be a guard, and it wicked off of the center guard, and isn't in a pretty prime place.
Yeah. Like if you can get to that port in those 2 stones that are guarding right in front of the house, it could be a nice takeout. But that's only a shot I've seen in the Briar. Take a shot anytime I say something about the Briar.
Did you know the Briar?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
but
okay.
I just love that joke of I've seen it in the Briar.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's a very narrow port to get through.
It's not an awful port. We say, we're looking at the head-on view, but if you look at the overhead view here, it looks like it's about just a stone and a half.
Yeah.
And if you do the intern clockwise, although it looks like they might be trying to take it from the other way.
Yeah.
I feel like the
Yeah, intern clockwise is the way to go.
I think so. Just because also the guard that's closest to the house, if you do the intern, you have a better shot at getting around that.
Yeah.
And also, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where they put the broom. So we called it.
We caught it. Look at that. Look at us knowing curling. Look at us.
This is going to be a key shot for Ken Pomeroy here.
Dare I say a make or break, because they really need to get the Howells rock out of the house.
Indeed.
And be shot, because they got to get more points on the board. We are in the 6th right now, and Howells is up 7 points.
It's crunch time.
They need rocks in the house.
Yeah. So Ken Pomeroy's in the hatch, talking it over with his front end, and they're a solid front end. So.
They're probably having the same conversations as us. Like, it's a very narrow port, but you can do it. We'll hold the line.
Shots away.
Trevor is already furiously sweeping to hold that line.
It's just curling on them.
Oh.
This is not going to end up very well.
You need to, oh, wow, it really drifted out. It needed to curl the other way. Okay, interesting. Right now it's a Howells 2.
Oh, they're shaking hands.
They're shaking. Oh, wow. Oh. Okay.
So, an unfortunate outcome for Team Pomeroy here.
Yeah.
Just a tough night at the office, as they say.
As they say, yes. But a well-fought game. Everyone played, really well. Not a lot of missed shots.
Yeah.
Just Pomeroy was outplayed just a little bit by Team Howells.
So it looks like the final is going to be 10-1 because they do the scoring after. Once the team without the hammer throws the last shot, that ends in the books.
Yeah,
So, but it is final there. Howells though had a good showing. I know Howells has kind of had some struggles during this tournament. I think part of the situation is that Hollywood doesn't have a lot of ice time right now.
We don't have any ice time right now.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, but has there been any look at possibly going back to arena facilities for the time being?
There has been. I just was elected to the board, so I get a little thank you. A little inside knowledge. The thing about ice in Los Angeles is that we're competing with figure skaters and hockey leagues, both adults and kid leagues, and they have priority because they've been there for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And we gave up our arena ice time because we have dedicated
Yeah.
ice. So now we're back asking for time, and the time's really just not available. So we're hoping to capitalize on a change of season. There is a new venue that is opening up. We're hoping to capitalize on that. But right now, we are really leaning into our partners with Orange County to, lend us ice time, allow us to join some of their leagues, and, just hoping for an opportunity to get back on the ice because it's
Yeah.
been far too long.
And hopefully you guys find and get that ice soon. Let's switch to sheet 1 really quickly because this is an interesting situation here.
Ooh.
Lots of rods in play, and this seems to be a chance for
Molly.
not Howells. Let me
Yeah,
turn that bug off. This seems to be a chance for
Umali.
Umali to add an additional point on the board here. Although this is the hammer, it's going to.
Oh, it crashed on the guard. Not expected from the Coyotes team.
Yes. So Umali does steal 1 here. They're don't call it a comeback.
Right? No. Hey, but little by little, right?
Yeah. So they stole 1 there. So it's a 10-3 game.
Yeah, but then at the end of the 6th. Oh, thank you, Brianna. Thank you.
Comment from the chat saying that when Orange County moves back to Westminster, Hollywood is always welcome. I've heard word that sounds like Orange County might be moving from their current facility. Is that something you've heard?
I'm honestly like very far removed
Okay.
from Orange County goings-ons, but when they move that back from the comments, thank you for opening the door for your Hollywood counterparts. It's very funny. Like there's so many Southern California teams here, Hollywood, Orange County, and San Diego. We are like one big party, one big family. The warm room in this facility is a little bit smaller than other facilities, so it feels like we're kind of taking over. Like, can you imagine 20 plus curlers that just all being reunited for the first time since our club closed? It's a big party, so it's very nice to get everybody back together. So any opportunity that we can get to reunite again, we're gonna take it. So thank you very much for the warm welcome. I will see you there.
And that's Brenna. I may have mispronounced her name earlier. Brenna Duncan.
Brenna, yes.
So let's go around the rings real quick, and I think maybe turn our attention back to sheet 1. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for being here. I don't know if you want to stay with us as we maybe finish out the sheet 1 game.
Oh, I'll stay.
Okay, appreciate it.
That's my team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandolin Darian, the second for Team Umali, is who I played with last year, so I have a little vested interest in this game.
Terrific. So let's go around the rings real quick as we'll pull up the bios in a second. So going around the rings, we're still working on the jingle. Sheet 1, our bonus coverage sheet. Umali stole the 6th end to trail 10-3 behind Team Aubrey from Coyotes. Sheets 2 was our feature game, and looks like they give Howells 3 in the 6th end to finish 11-1 over Team Pomeroy from the Oval. Sheet 3, this is a back and forth game. It looks like Team McBride from Hollywood put up a deuce to take a 7-6 lead over Team Fleming. McBride's playing with the Yellow Rocks. Sheet 4, the Hollywood blockbuster battle between Team Hernandez and Team Burnt. Hernandez retook the lead with a deuce in the 6th. No, I apologize. They scored a deuce in the 6th to come within 1, so it's Burnt still with the lead.
Yeah, but just one though.
Yeah, so Burnt is up 5-4 over Hernandez. And then it is a final on sheet 5. Camarena are giant killers tonight as they take down the defending champions.
Wow,
8-1.
8-1.
8-1. It was all at Camarena to start the game. Single, steal a deuce, steal a triple going into the halftime break after 4 ends. Burton was able to get on the board with
Finally,
1.
yeah.
And then Camarena struck back with another single on theirs, and I think Burton said that was enough.
Enough. They've already played today, so I imagine Team Burton was tired. Cameron also played today as well. Yeah. Everyone's tired, and when you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. And I think Team Burton knew that they could accept a loss and still make it to the playoffs. They are one of the top 2 teams in their part of the pool.
Yep.
So they're okay with the L to get some more rest tonight to come back tomorrow strong and go again for the championship.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be in the playoff pool or the playoff bracket. So, shifting back to our bonus coverage game, do a nice gentle fade.
I love it.
Again, thank you to Bay Area Curling Club for this awesome camera setup. Lots of compliments. No one said a negative word, not even about my commentary, which is great all around.
It's been like all positive. Look
I
at the
know.
chat. I love it. Thank you.
I am paying half of them, and the other half is my family. So,
Oh, okay. That's how you got it.
but definitely thankful for all the great compliments for both about our technology and our commentary. So, going to find the chat sheets here. This is men's. Oh, that's
Yeah, so we just got a delivery from Kira. I want to say, no, so sorry. Yes, we just got a delivery from Kira from Team Umali. I want to say she is the vice for Team Umali. And that voice in the background is Garnet from Team Howells, who just got off the ice after their win.
Do you have a Scottish euphemism for us?
What would you like to hear?
Something
Whatever.
PG rated preferred.
Please.
Yes, as hairy as a haggis.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, a haggis is native to Scotland, as you know.
Yeah,
right?
that's the food
the
with
little furry
the
purple
oats and the-
animal.
No.
Yes, it is. I can send you a link.
Sure, send me the
It's
link,
a
I
real
guess.
thing. You'll learn about it on January 25th, Burns Night.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
If you want to spend $250 on a ticket to the St Andrews Society of LA,
I think I
you
might.
can join us in Burn and celebrate Burns.
Do I have to eat haggis?
Haggis is on offer. I believe they have a vegetarian version.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Anyway, enough of that and
Enough
back to
of
the curling.
Yes.
How are things looking? Looks like a tight game for McBride and Fleming, two top teams from both Hollywood / Orange County. McBride
Yeah.
and Fleming from the Coyotes team always performs well at these events.
We have
nice.
the Battle of the Blockbuster on sheet 4.
Oh wow, check that out. Hernandez, or also known as Bernandez.
Yeah, Bernandez. Yeah.
Linked to the Burnt family. There's a real family rivalry there going, for those that didn't know.
Yeah.
A bit of crossover, you talked about that already.
A little bit, yeah.
How's it looking? It's looking 5-4. Burnt up 5-4 with Hammer in the 7th. That looks going to be an interesting finish to that game. Are you going to put some, going to get some video? Where are we on now that we've
We're
come off
on
the ice?
the bonus coverage sheet because we have we can turn the cameras easily to sheet 1. So right now it was almost all Aubrey to start, and then Umali has been able to kind of claw a little bit back into this game
Yeah.
with a steal in the 6th. So it's 10-3 Aubrey over Umali here.
It's going to be tough to plug that back against that team again from Coyotes, women's national team there.
Yeah.
Great team from Coyotes. But the ladies from Hollywood, they've just put that team together. Pretty showing a pretty new team together. So not a bad showing from the Hollywood crowd there.
Yeah, and coming after the 4th end, they seem to be bouncing back very well. They're finally on the board with 2 ends scored. So I'm optimistic.
You know, if only there was ice.
If only
In
there
Southern
was
California.
ice. If only.
I need a beer, guys, so I'm going to head off. I'll be back later, maybe to finish off with a bit of commentary with a beer in hand.
Lovely.
Terrific.
Nice talking to you both.
Congratulations on
Thanks,
your win tonight.
congrats.
So getting up to speed on this game, Umali had, it looks like shot rock, and then Team Aubrey was able to chip that yellow out. The shooter rolled away, but looking at the score, they don't need to stick around really.
No.
They just need to prevent Umali from adding counters into the house. And this is who is that now for Umali? Or is that it's Umali?
That's Molly. I want to say that was Kira.
Oh,
No, that was Amanda who just delivered.
so she's throwing third. That's Amanda
Oh.
Landry and Gonzalez.
Yeah.
She began curling in 2014, and then competed in the MoPac Playdowns in 2021 and 2019. So I did see her last year.
Yeah, that was my teammate from the previous women's way
Okay.
down. Yeah.
Awesome. And then she's also participated in the 2019 MoPac 5 and Under and numerous other bonspiels throughout the region.
Absolutely.
So, If you had a choice of whatever bonspiel you could go to, I know you mentioned the Seattle bonspiel, but what's your dream bonspiel?
Dream Bonspiel. So I've heard a lot of great things about House of Hearts.
Oh yeah.
Historically, but today I've learned about the Margarita.
Okay.
And I didn't know much about the Margarita, but it seems to be a very exclusive club. They play 1 year in the U.S., another year in Europe, and they take a lot of teams, but it's so hard to get into. And a lot of the teams that had put together a team for entry didn't make it. So it's
Yeah.
like an exclusive club, and you know how I feel about exclusive things. I have to be there. So yeah, the Margarita.
The finer things.
The finer
You
things,
drink your
yes.
water with your pinky out and stuff.
Always. Always.
So Team Aubrey, they sunk a stone into the 8 foot there. They're sitting shot. It is a little bit open. And so it looks like Umali is, I think, I would maybe try to maybe hit and roll maybe, like roll under the cover, the corner on the other side.
Absolutely.
They have hammer, sorry, they don't have hammer. Aubrey has the hammer. So this is going to be a tricky end no matter what.
Yeah.
This, I think this is Amanda's
Second stone.
second stone, so we're very quickly to skip stones.
Yeah.
These games go quick, especially if you're talking about them.
I mean, like this is a timed game.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone is moving very quickly. Not a lot of time of like chatting and deliberation. We are in the hack, rocks in front. We are on it. And unfortunately, Amanda's rock crashed on a yellow that was just in front of the red that they were aiming for, and they cleared those yellows, but red is still lying too.
And this is the seventh end. They need points on the board.
They need 'em. Majorly, they need points on the board.
Although, I mean, they could force and then try and score.
Yeah.
They have to get an 8-ender if they force. So
Yeah.
they need a score here, or it's I think going to be handshakes.
Yes.
So this is going to be for Team Aubrey. I believe this is the third there. That's Luba Brock. She's a Canadian. Oh, she started curling in Canada. Maybe she's not Canadian. Playing on her high school team, and then for the University of Western Ontario's women's team, London, Ontario, not Great Britain. Was a college in curling town, and most students didn't own their cars. So hitchhiking was a standard mode of transportation,
Oh, wow.
and no one was surprised to see curlers like Luba on the side of the road, thumb up, holding a corn broom, hitching a ride to the local curling club. I can't imagine doing that today.
I can't either. So scary, so dangerous.
Although I have ridden light rail in Arizona with my broom bag, and like some people will ask like what are you know
That,
what's in
yeah.
the bag? I gave an impromptu like curling demonstration on the train. Although conversely, I sat on the bus in Granite, going Seattle Granite, going from downtown Seattle to the club
Yes.
north of the city, and as I'm holding my broom, no one looks at me cross-eyed or anything.
No,
It's crazy.
There are so many folks that take I want to say it's the red line
Yeah.
up from Belltown into along Aurora to Granite. There are so many brooms that are on that. On that bus, like no one bats an eye. Like
Yeah.
we've all given the speech on what is curling, how do you use this. People are so desensitized to it at this point.
Oh, it's another curler.
Another curler,
One of those
them and their
guys.
broom.
What do you mean those guys?
Yeah, those guys. Yes, us. Yes, curlers.
So it looks like Umali threw, and I think it ended up short.
I think so.
Yeah, because I think that's new top center to the right of the overhead view on the right side of the screen. So I think that's a new rock. This is Debbie Aubrey, her first. She's been working as a systems engineer for a very long time and has not been curling long enough.
Haven't we all?
I know. She started curling in 2014 when Coyotes moved to their own facility, and I know she's quite fortunate to practice on dedicated ice. Again, aren't we all, if you have the opportunity? And this is her shot here. I think they just want to kind of block the path there, because if they score two, Umali is mathematically unable to come back in the eighth end.
Exactly. Yeah. So that high guard that they just threw is perfect. It's going to be hard to. No, like you can draw around it. The port is wide enough, but what Umali needs right now is to somehow get 7 points between now and the next end. And with them being out of rocks, that guard being very high just makes it a little bit tougher.
Yeah. And I've kind of joked before. It's like there's like the mythical like 10-ender,
Yeah.
which obviously doesn't exist.
And no one wants to play that. Please. No one wants
So
to play
this
that.
is Donna Umali. She's she was throwing first. So who's throwing fourth? This
it's Queena.
Queena Mewers
Mm-hmm.
or Mewers. Okay,
Yeah.
so she started curling in 2019. Was at the 2021 Holiday Bonspiel at SoCal, 5 and under. She was also the champion of the Coyotes Superheroes 5 and under
Mm-hmm.
at 2022. Was also went to the SOB last year, the Sawtooth Outdoor Bonspiel, which sounds like a great time, especially if you like freezing.
Right. Yes. I don't. So yeah.
I think you got to do it at least once.
I've it's on my list. I just gotta get up the gumption to do it.
Yeah. And there's actually an outdoor bonspiel in Colorado in February.
How
So
about that?
I'm curious if it's sold out yet or not.
I need to get a team together.
And then the club, I never joined in Michigan. I started curling after I realized there was curling where I lived in Michigan. But they curl on natural ice.
Natural ice.
It's
Really?
a building that was built in the 1800s for a mining company. It was called the Drill House, where they manufactured the drills that were used in drilling. So they got 2 sheets, natural ice, so they put the ice in, and it lasts as long as it lasts.
Wow.
But
That's amazing.
It's a big stone building, so I'm sure it gets pretty cold in the wintertime and
for
doesn't
sure.
heat up very easily.
Oh,
so.
for sure. For sure.
So looks like Queena. Oh no, looks like we're done.
Oh, and are we shaking?
Debbie
Yeah.
Aubrey, yeah.
Yeah, that's a shake. It's like we got they ran out of rocks. Unfortunately, that's
Oh no,
the
it looks like
yellow is shot.
Yeah.
That's just one.
so they
now-
could go to the one more end, and then Aubrey can just run them out of stones,
Yeah.
arguably very quickly because they would have to score 7, I believe, without the hammer.
Yeah, 7 to win, 6 to tie.
When you put
You
it
know.
that way,
You know.
a 6-ender.
It's under, yeah.
Also, like some things you can do during league night at your club, you aren't necessarily going to be able to do at a competition like this.
You can hope,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
let's be realistic.
yeah.
I will say so a bit about the lineup. I know I kind of tripped us up a bit. Queena from Team Umali, she is throwing skip stones, but is technically the third. There's been a bit of a shakeup because I'm not sure if you knew this, but Queena broke her leg.
Oh,
Yeah, like earlier in 2022.
Okay.
And so she had just gotten into curling. You see, she's been in a lot of bonds, she had to take a serious break. And now she's back and she's almost at 100%. And, because of that, and her just like shakiness and being able to sweep
yeah.
as a front ender or as a vice, that's why she's skipping. But Donna is throwing lead stones, but like down sheet skipping.
Yeah.
Air quotes around that.
And that makes sense. I mean, like I said, I think that the lead after the skip is the most important role on the
Absolutely.
team. And all the team roles are important, but
Yeah.
I like throwing
Those two.
lead.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. You gotta throw those good guards up. You gotta be able to read the ice.
Yeah.
You gotta be on top of the time.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of responsibility in the lead. And while, they're not the game-winning stones, they're the game-starting stones.
Yeah. Although if things do go right, you could be sitting shy.
That too. That too.
So this is Donna Umali throwing lead stones, although plays skip, putting up a center guard, which is obviously not a bad call, but I would probably maybe put them a little tighter because she might need to bring those into play later.
Exactly.
In the end, if she does want to try to score that 6-ender,
Exactly.
which as Michaela points out in the chat, I do call that a Montoya.
Montoya.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I want to know why.
You saw Princess Bride, right?
No.
So you should see Princess Bride. Andre the Giant's in it. Wallace Shawn is in it. Those are the stars. Not really. I mean, there's side characters, but they're iconic side characters. Robin Penn plays the Princess Bride, and it's kind of like it starts like it's a grandfather who's played by Peter Falk Columbo,
Okay.
reading to his grandson who is
Ben Savage.
Yes, exactly. So, sorry,
Love him.
coming back to you a little bit.
Well, that's all I know.
Okay,
that
okay.
Ben Savage is in.
So he's reading the story, and so the one of the characters who goes by the name Dread, the Dread Pirate, I forget. I don't know all that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but basically he's hunting down Inigo Montoya because he killed his father. Oh, no, it's another character. There's so many characters in this. But Inigo Montoya has 6 fingers.
Oh.
And so that's how he identified him, is that, oh, he's a 6-fingered man. So if you store a 6-ender, I'm calling that an Inigo Montoya because,
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen Princess Bride. I'm so sorry. Is that Micah?
Yeah, it's Micah.
Oh, yes, hello. No, I've never seen it. I know. I will watch. I have homework.
And you work in the industry, so I think it's just like one of those like classic
100%.
Hollywood films.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
of course, not mentioning who you worked for. Da-dum.
Da-da.
You worked
Yes.
for Law and Order Special Victims Unit?
Exactly, yes. Yes. There are heinous crimes.
Oh, well, I mean, we are talking about Hollywood here.
I know, yeah. Oof, it's really rough. These
Like-
mean streets.
Trying to ask for overtime.
Don't. You won't get it, but you will need to work.
All right, so this is not quite it, but we're getting close to it. This is the third stone in the end, and basically after this, every rock from Umali's team needs to count. They're sitting 1, and inconceivable. Yes, is also a classic word from Princess Bride, as Micah says. So this is the second rocks coming from Kira or Tyra?
Kira.
Kira Minayan. She started hurling last year, so
Yeah.
just super impressive. Although it looks like this might be coming up a little short.
Oh, I'm so happy to see Queen being able to be out there sweeping.
Yeah.
Not her strongest stance, but again, she's just getting back into it.
Mm.
Oh, but yeah, that fell short, and we really need rocks in the house.
Yep.
Because we need to score 6 to tie,
Yep.
7 to win, and with 2 on the outside, the odds are not in our favor.
I mean, yeah, so it looks like Aubrey here is going to take out their own guard so they can get to that shot stone. And this is the second, I believe this is Tracy Drummond, who was dragged into curling by her husband in 2010, back when Coyotes was playing at the Ice Den on arena ice.
Wow, wow, wow.
And so the run back, and this could be it.
Ooh, that could be it,
So it goes out. It's not over totally. Well, I think it's got to be over totally because there's only 5 rocks remaining, and they need to get one of those yellows that are guards right now into the house
to tie.
to tie. So sometimes, like you say, you gotta know when to fold them,
Yeah.
know when to walk away,
Yep.
know when to run.
Know when to run. Yes.
You never count your money though,
No.
especially when you're sitting at the table.
No, not yet. Not in front of everybody else.
I've heard there's time enough for counting.
Is this a part of the song?
Only after the deal. This is totally from the song.
Okay. I only know that little bit. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. That's all I got.
Yeah. So the rest of the verses, you never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done.
Okay.
And so I say that as atonally as possible to not get flagged by the
Yeah.
copyright
Yeah.
system and stuff.
Copy who? No.
Oh no. This is going through the house.
Oh gosh, a flash. We need that rock in play.
I think
It's yeah. Okay, so that's 2 outs.
they need both of those guards in the house.
Yeah,
And
both
so-
of them. And if the team from Phoenix, the Coyotes team, if they take one of these guards out, it's done. There's
Yeah.
no coming back.
Yep.
And they are aimed to do that. Seems like a solid delivery.
Some nice upright. They just need to make contact, really. And it looks like they're going to hit the one on the right here. It's going to be escorted from the premises.
And yes, it is.
And that
And that's it.
should be it.
There's no way to come back. Now again, Hollywood not having ice, they may choose to play out this end, even though they know it's a losing battle.
I hope that's the case because etiquette would normally call for people to resign when they're eliminated.
Yeah.
But people can be, like I said, curlers are understanding, generous people.
We are.
There's a situation at Worlds, men's Worlds, where I think Denmark I was playing their last game against Schuster. It's like, you know, we could have resigned earlier, but this is our last chance
yeah.
at this stage. We wanted to have a chance to
Yeah.
play it out.
And Schuster was obliged.
Yeah, so I mean, that could be the situation here.
And I think like Donna and the Coyote Skip just had a quick little discussion about like, hey, this is it, but can we keep playing?
Yeah.
And you know, the Coyotes team, they understand there are neighboring curling clubs. They understand the loss of ice and how we really haven't gotten to practice. So I'm sure that they were happy to accommodate us throwing the rest of the stones, even though it would not net out for a W for the Hollywood team.
Indeed. And so speaking about ice time, I know.
And again, oh no.
So yeah, we don't know what's going on the ice. There aren't any microphones, so we don't know what they were talking about. So what appears to be one thing to us outside of the ice house could be totally different on the sheet. So we're not going to make an assumption here,
Right.
just because also it would be a bad look if it is what we might think it could be. But,
Yeah.
speaking of ice time, you're back on the ice tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. Yes, I'll be on
Ooh.
sheet 5, so there will be no coverage.
Well, around the rings.
Yeah, around the rings. Yes. And we are going up against Team Feldman from White
Okay,
Country.
that should be a good game.
A good game, yeah.
Feldman's one of the top teams.
They are. They
So.
are.
It's just nice to see the field double from what it was last year.
Yeah, complete double, 200%.
I mean, you guys, unfortunately, there's less games overall by team because you guys played a double round robin. So you got,
Essentially, yeah.
you got 6 games in.
Yeah. Ooh. And I felt every game.
And here we're doing pool play. So, you know, everyone gets, I think, 3 games. And if you didn't make it to the playoffs, you get 1 and then hopefully 2 if you make the final. So,
Yeah.
and then for the men's field, it's 18 teams.
18 teams, yeah.
And just crazy.
3 different pools.
Yeah. And then Aubrey there takes out the remaining yellow rock. So it is if you're not a fan of yellow, you're in luck because there's no yellow in that house.
Not a single Yellowstone.
Seeing a lot of red there. So looks like they're starting to try and draw it. I think they're just trying to see what opportunities they can do here.
Mm-hmm.
And I also do understand this is the last game of the night. I have to go catch Bart back to where I'm staying.
Oh
So
no!
it's
really?
not too bad.
Oh gosh.
But we're an hour earlier tonight than we were last night.
Oh, is that helpful a bit?
And then also last night went to an extra end.
Oh gosh, that too. I forgot about that.
Well, we went to an extra end on bonus towers. Like, oh well, I started broadcasting it, so I might as well finish
Gotta
out
finish
the thread.
it. And that was the Howells versus who was Garnet playing against? I forget.
Let's see
Yeah, it was Howells against another men's team.
Yeah, too many
Oh,
papers.
Betts.
Okay.
Yeah, from Wine Country, David Betts.
Okay.
And yeah, Betts ended up finishing that out. They got 1 point in the extra end and took home the W.
Okay. Here's the draw schedule.
There it is.
Sorry guys.
Sorry, everyone.
So we have one wireless mic that we're sharing between us because the other mic isn't working as our faithful viewers pointed out to me. So until I get that fixed, we're kind of sharing the mic. Hopefully it hasn't affected I think the broadcast has been okay. No complaints. So looks like Aubrey is Aubrey's drawing in.
I'm not really seeing anything on the audio mixer.
So?
Not seeing any peeking on the
Oh,
audio.
because we're the wireless mics.
Oh, there we are.
So since this game is known, we're gonna not be TSN and stick with the game after it's past its expiration time. We're gonna go around the rings and see the last part of McBride Fleming if it's still in action. So we are gonna go around the rings, and so this is sheet 3, I believe. This is looks like sheet 3 is still in action. It is tied at 7 after Fleming scored a single in the 7th to tie it up. So a very fascinating situation here. That is the only other game on the ice. The only other game where the outcome is unknown. So we are having an interesting discussion in the chat about some etiquette and also again the generosity of curlers.
Yes.
You know, kind of letting teams and players get experience. I think it's been a productive conversation. Definitely appreciate people's insights, knowing that there might not be full agreement on this matter.
Yeah.
And it's tricky in a tournament like this. So But this is an interesting situation on sheet 3 here. Yellow rocks are being held by McBride, who has the hammer from Hollywood, taking on Fleming with the red rocks. So McBride is sitting shot and third stone with Fleming with the yellow. And Fleming are wearing the outlandish Don Cherry inspired uniforms.
I love their uniforms.
Hopefully
unique.
they can talk the talk. Let's see if they can walk the walk here.
Let's see.
And they've been holding their own this tournament. So
They
they put up a guard. I think definitely going to try and take advantage of that. Maybe kind of raise their red later in the end or draw a round. Can't quite see how many rocks are remaining, but we are getting near the end of the end here. Looking at sheet 1, Umali does have a rock in the rings, but there's 2 Aubrey counters that are outscoring it. And we are, I think, definitely going to skip rocks on the Umali Aubrey game.
Yeah.
So here on sheet 3, it looks like, look the names again.
Tim McBride.
Yeah, it looks like McBride is opting to clear the guard. One of the pieces of advice from Two Girls in the Game podcast, Mother Mary, is you can't go wrong clearing the guard, and that's what they're choosing here. I mean, there's some ways you can go wrong with clearing the guard, but it should be obvious where it's like, ooh, and this.
Oh, that was not the intended. Ooh.
Not a bad outcome though, and I'll tell you why. Because McBride has the hammer.
Oh, yeah,
So
perfect.
they're opening up the center of the house. They're clearing stones from the house. I mean, ideally, you would have liked to keep their shot stone.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that the guard did jam
Yeah.
and kind of move the rocks in the house out. But ultimately not an awful shot.
Yeah.
Not an awful miss.
Yeah, definitely not. Now, if they didn't have the hammer, it's a different story.
It's still tricky, and Fleming definitely knows how to play a situation like this.
How long has Fleming been curling
Oh,
together?
ask me a question that I had to look up the bio for.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. So we have bios of all the teams that chose to give us sheets. And thank you for guarding the microphone. So Team Fleming, Wayne's been curling for 14 years.
Wow.
The vice, Jason Halleck 9, Kevin Maloney 9, and then lead Brian Ogden 4. So
Wow.
just like the Beach Boys, they get around.
Lots of years of experience under their belt, and you can really tell by how they curl. They are one of the teams to beat here, and they are giving the McBride team a run for their money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can see these yellows. I think I don't know if Fleming was able to kind of tick those to the side, because I don't think McBride would have wanted to put up guards that far to the side of the sheet.
I
there.
think they ticked out. Yeah, and one of those was the one that that the McBride team just threw on that red that was in like the 3 zone as a guard. It just kind of just. Oops.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, that was me.
no.
That was all me.
I should have held it. But yeah, that yellow stone closest to the house was one of the ones that like flipped out to the side after raising in that red.
Okay. Oh wow, this is an interesting situation. Handshakes on sheet 1. I don't know the final score, but it was going to be Team Aubrey.
Team Aubrey for sure.
I'm going to stop playing that because I keep knocking the microphone off.
I will not ask any more questions.
So
here we are. We got Team McBride in the house figuring out their shot.
Yep.
And I want to say that is Justin, the skip, going down at one of his first stones. And if I remember correctly, that is Nate. I forget his last name. But he is a junior curling champion. He's been in the curling game for a long time. Very much a force to be reckoned with. He's taught a lot of clinics and learned the curls so that he can, help enrich the spirit of curling and curling abilities here in the Southern California area. So the McBride team bios, they are very, they're very fun. And just to read Nate's, it is Nate Clark. He first learned of curling when he saw an eagle flying across the sky. He said, "Why can't I make granite bend like that?" And the rest was history.
So here comes the shot for McBride here. I think they were maybe looking to. I think they were trying to draw around. The person holding the broom comes out to help. It looks like it needs to maybe curl up just a little bit more. It's hanging out, and now it's super close. It might be there.
I think that is shot.
It does look to be shot. Again, it's hard to tell given the ice here. I'm going to go full screen with this. Ooh, it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the first shot from Justin, who knew from a young age he was expected to be a curler.
They're shaking hands.
They are.
So that looks to be the game.
Huh.
So I'm going to guess McBride pulled out the win.
I'm gonna guess with that shot.
Assuming that the rings of the rainbow are they are true to the house. It must be nice to have like 6-inch half rings in the back of the house. It looked like McBride from here. Let's maybe zoom out a little bit. See if they updated. Yes, they gave the win to McBride. That was a draw for the win. So McBride, I think, upsetting. McBride upsetting Team Fleming from Coyotes. So Coyotes, if you ask a lot of people here, are kind of the top of the field in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so if you lose to them, it's kind of expected. But if you can get a win against them, I think people kind of cherish those types of wins.
Yeah, and we've had two of them tonight. We had Team Pomeroy from San Francisco take over Team Burton. Yep, and we just had Team McBride take over Team Fleming.
Yeah.
So two upsets for the Coyotes teams tonight. So I know that those teams who overtook them are quite proud with their performance this
certainly.
evening, and they are eager to curl some more tomorrow.
So as we wrap up here, let's recap the end of draw 7. We have only 2 more draws in pool play, and then we might have a tiebreaker, and then we're off to the playoffs.
That's right.
So we're going to have coverage, feature sheet coverage from all of those games. Hopefully Jasmine will come back when she's not on the ice.
Maybe. Let's see.
We've had some great guests, and it's been great. So I'm not talking to myself for hours. It's been awesome. But really quickly to recap the action of draw 7. As pool play continues, women's pool B on sheet 1, Team Albury won fairly handily, although Umali did steal the last end technically. Technically. And then on sheet 2, our feature sheets, that was men's B pool play. Garnet Howells, just really got to an early lead and held on. Was not able to. Team Pomeroy was not able to get in. So Team Howells of Hollywood got an 11-1 victory over Pomeroy. Sheet 3, men's D pool. That's what we just saw the ending of. Team McBride edging out Fleming. That seems like a game for the ages. 8-7, McBride over Fleming. Sheet 4, men's A pool. This one. The blockbuster battle there. Team Burns just kind of built up a lead that Hernandez was not able to kind of get back into. 9-5, Burnt over Hernandez. And then the upset, probably one of the biggest upsets of the night. Team Camarena, a solid team from San Francisco Bay Area.
Solid.
8-1 over the defending champions, Team Burton from Coyotes. That's women's A pool play, and I think both of those teams are going on to the playoffs. So this was kind of a seeding game, really. So we're definitely going to see Burton. I think we're going to see Camarena in the next round. Once I get a look at the pools, we'll see how it goes. So that's the standings, and so we're going to kind of wrap up our coverage for tonight here, just as a friendly reminder. This broadcast is presented by the authority of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. However, if you were to reproduce this game in a certain way, how would you reproduce this game?
I don't know how you would.
I mean, you can do it with like popsicle sticks or
Maybe.
like Play-Doh. You can do or you can do like you can do Puppinets, which are my knockoff brand Muppets.
Okay.
Puppinets,
okay,
yeah.
I
So
love it.
knockoff Muppets.
Okay.
That might be a way you can reproduce this curling match, and we might give you permission to do that.
Right.
Micah is really happy about possibly doing interpretive dance. So
Oh, I can see that.
yeah,
Turbo
so-
dance on ice.
Yeah, so some possibilities, but please ask for our written permission. You know,
Please.
possible sticks, interpretive dance,
Whatever
you know,
it may be.
kabuki. You know, those are still options. So thank you so much, Jasmine, for joining us tonight. As a reminder, we got 3, maybe 4 games on tap tomorrow as pool play concludes and we start the playoffs. Hopefully you're still with us. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have Claire take on Betts. Should be a really exciting game. And then we have the last of the women's pool play action. We're going to see Umali take on Wheeler in the last game of pool play. That should be fascinating. And then we're going to go to the playoffs. So we're going to post the schedule to our YouTube, and we're going to post it to our Facebook on MoPac. So we hope you tune in then. Thank you, Jasmine, so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully you'll be back.
Of course.
We'll see you on the ice, definitely.
See you on the ice tomorrow at 8:30, sheet 5.
I'll be awake for that.
All right.
I say those times add about half an hour because we have practice in last shot draws.
Right.
So
About 9-ish.
indeed. But for all of us here at MoPac and the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club, this has been Ryan Olson, joined by Jasmine Hashi. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Good night and good curling. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.